delicious looking.
It did.
Good evening, everyone. Highlights of the news. Traffic accident. Beaver County man is being held for murder. More later.
What's going on, y'all? You're tuning in to the highest rated, most listened to podcast to ever grace the airwaves, and you're a better person for listening to us. All right, maybe not, but you're really going to enjoy it anyways. This is Made to Motivate podcast, and we'll be talking social media hot topics, pop culture news, the greatest in movies and music, and all things sports. Make sure you're following us on social media at Made to Motivate podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can watch the show on our YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, and with that being said, let's get this show started. Made to Motivate.
Dude,
What's up, bro?
I'll give you $100 if you can guess the name of this beer.
Beowulf.
Beowulf Dunkelweizen.
Oh, that's cute.
Beowulf Dunkelweizen.
Let's see that can.
It's probably
Has
Dunkelweizen.
it got the wolf on it?
Dope ass
That
wolf with a
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
orange behind it.
It's dope.
It's pretty good.
What's
Little
up, y'all?
Chocolate mountains.
This is Made to Motivate podcast, season 4, episode 8. Your host, Ryan Weiss. Joined as always by Jesse Unk from Sports Illustrated.
What's going on?
How's it going, sir?
It's going fantastic.
Christopher, the film freak, Kessinger.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Hey, just in case you guys are ever wondering if you're on camera, Jesse, you're 2 and Chris, you're 3.
Oh,
So if you're ever like wondering like if it's you or not, you
Goddamn
can look
right.
over here and see what's going on. I never really mentioned that.
Don't
before.
forget it, Chris.
that's
1, 2,
good.
3.
Well, now I'll know when to like itch my nuts and
Exactly. What is new and exciting? We got a fun-filled show for you. Three Stooges are back. We'll see how it goes. Jesse, anything new and exciting since we met last week?
Yeah, I didn't even tell you guys before show.
Oh,
Today,
secret.
I got to hear the heartbeat of my future child for the first
Wow.
time.
nice.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah, it was really exciting. It did not last as long as I thought it would.
Yeah.
Steph FaceTimed me and it was like 6 seconds.
Pablo.
I thought they were going to like really hold it down, but dude's heart's beating like 180 times a minute.
You heard it as long as your conception took.
Well,
6 seconds.
it was done in vitro, so
Oh, that's true.
yeah.
Pablo.
Swing and a miss, Weiss.
Yeah.
There was no heartbeat after that one.
Jeez.
It was just.
Yeah, whatever. I got no shame in my game.
Got the job done.
I got married. I don't got to impress anybody anymore.
This is very true. What else is new other than that's cool? That's exciting.
Yeah, it was
Everything
dope.
else is going well.
They said everything looks good, sounds good.
Cool.
My one buddy was like, "There's no backing out now. You can hear the heartbeat."
Oh, jeez.
Jesus.
Heartbeat Bill.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, so that's awesome. We're really excited. And
Yeah.
then other than that, I started teaching a marketing class, which is cool.
Oh, that's new.
3 hours straight every single day from 12 to 3:25.
Wow.
Does not sound awesome.
Nonstop. The only breaks they get are the ones I give them, which I make them take because I need
You
a
want
break.
to break? Yep.
But that covers all of their graduation requirements. So if they don't pass their tests, which most of my kids can't, they get through this class and they don't have to pass them. They're good to go.
What are you teaching? You're not a marketing teacher. You're not a math teacher.
So
what do you got?
The
going
reason
on?
that I got this gig, anybody can teach it. You don't have to have accreditation or anything like that. It's just a program. It's called Rise Up. It's not like a school thing. It's something that they give to companies as a training module. So the first part of it is retail management, like essentials, and the second one is customer service. So right now
Okay.
we're working through retail. So they learn like I don't even know, like different types of businesses. So like what's a corporation versus an independent business
Right.
versus this. They learn about like customer service facts. So like how to greet a customer, the statistics behind it, like your 50% of your customers will never come back if you have a bad experience type of stuff.
Right.
And then we go through like the whole buying process. So like what that looks like, greet them, assess their needs, listen, meet their needs, go above and beyond and all that other stuff. So the reason I got to do it was because I took a class like that for 2 years in high school. It was for DECA, but we just called it marketing class.
I wish
Yeah.
I had diversified cooperative training.
Yeah. So we did that for 2 years. I did DECA. DECA's dope.
Yeah.
If you're in high school, bro. So let me just side note to DECA real
If you're in
quick.
high school, you shouldn't be listening to our show because this is an adult show.
That is true.
But if you are,
dude,
Tell your friends.
DECA chicks are wild.
oh God,
We did first time I ever got drunk in my entire life was at Deca. So Deca's like this, you do a little marketing thing and they do it locally at first.
Yeah.
You have to go in and give them like some spiel. So like mine was like, you're a San Francisco museum employee and you're trying to boost sales. How could you work with the city in order to do this? So I'm like, so we're going to do a loyalty program where you get a free ride on the trolley to our location. If you go like, and I just made up all this shit. You just make stuff up, you know? And they're like, wow, this kid's really got a business mind. And they let you go down to States. States takes place in Columbus at that one convention center, which is, I have fond memories there. We had all types of stuff we would go there for.
I've been there for cons. Yeah.
So I went down, little alcohol virgin Jesse, and my buddies, like, as soon as we get there, I'm up there with Joe and Mike. I won't say their last names. Yeah. And they pull out this giant bottle of Bacardi and they're like, dude, we're mixing this with our Gatorade. Like, let's fucking go. And I was a little hesitant and they're like, dude, it's fine. You don't got to if you don't want. Like, they weren't pressuring. They weren't pressuring me at all. So I was just like, fuck it. Let's just fucking do it. And I'm sitting there in the opening conference of Deca, just drunk as shit. I'm sitting there going like, because the way it felt, like I'm just like swinging my head and shit. So they have what's called a Deca dance that sets off like the Deca competition. And there is no type of supervision at this thing. These chicks got skirts up to their fucking ribs. Like, it's just crazy. Yeah, I said it. It's just wild, bro. Like, the dance is crazy. Like, kids are fucking doing God knows what. We're wasted. We're dancing with all these chicks from our school, from all these other schools, like whatever. Yeah. They find out. I don't know how. I'm probably because we're fucking obvious, you know, we're 17. And
yelling, I have big balls.
We go up to our hotel room at the end of the night. It's like 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or something. And the teachers are waiting at our door. Oh, I'm like, fuck.
You next?
My ex was there. My ex was there. And she's like pulling the whole, this isn't you. You don't need to be doing this. I'm so disappointed. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me. Like, what the fuck? And so we go walking down. I'm like, all right, what the fuck are we going to do? My boy Joe, we get down to the room and he goes, hold on, Miss Godfrey, I got to take a shit. And he runs into the room real quick and closes the door because you can't come in while we're taking a shit.
Yeah, hide all the shit.
So we close the door. He grabs the bottle. There's a drop ceiling in the bathroom. Lifts it up, puts the bottle in there.
Damn, that's some prison break shit right there, man.
Yeah, bro. They come in, they search everything. They're under our mattress, looking through all the stuff. There's nothing there. And we're just like, well, we're just going to hang out. We're playing poker that night and shit. Like, it was fucking crazy.
Right.
So the rest of the night, we polish off the rest of the bottle. He gets a North High School flag, stuffs it in the bottle, puts it back in the drop ceiling so somebody would find it one day.
Jeez.
We did not make it to nationals.
Oh, yeah. Shocker.
Yeah. I always thought Deca was just like that group that ran the restaurants in the school.
Deca's so good.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Deca at all. I don't know if Copley had that.
All marketing. It's just how to run a store. We had like our own little school store and everything that we were in charge of and all this other stuff. It was fun.
We had a restaurant.
That's what we had too.
Yeah, we had like a restaurant thing where it was like culinary and they ran an actual restaurant. Yeah. People could come there and eat and everything.
Culinary does all their own stuff. We didn't run the restaurant for some reason. That's a good idea though. I don't know why they wouldn't have collaborated on that.
Tell me you had really good fries. We had fucking bomb fries.
I honestly don't remember eating there very often. They did like the spaghetti dinners and stuff, and they would prepare everything and like do that. But I don't remember participating much in that.
If you ever look back at the culinary menus that they gave, it's like fries, mozzarella sticks, chicken tenders, spaghetti. Yeah. Like, you're not learning culinary. That's boiling noodles and frying shit.
Next is grilled cheese.
Jeez.
But yeah, so because of my marketing class background and then working at the theater and being a manager there for 7 years, I got the nod. So
you get extra money?
I do not. Well, yeah, I kind of do, but not because of Deca. I do because of my caseload. I'm getting $2,000.
Okay, that's extra money.
Yeah, but it's not because of that. It's just I have a ton of students and I'm doing everything. I told my principal today, he came in during like my whole lecture and I'm just going at this point, you know. 15 kids, but they're spread out 6 feet. We're in the gymnasium so that there's room because normally our classes are like 4 to 7 kids because of the demographic. He comes in, they're all taking notes. I'm explaining the video. Like, he just came, dude, I got this shit down pat. And he goes, this looks like it's going really well. And I go, yeah. I go, teacher of the year. Don't forget about it. And walked back up and knocked it out. He's just like, I've been saying it all year. If I don't get it, I'm gonna be really salty just because I've been like,
You prep that shit.
dude, I tell them all the time. Anytime I do something, teacher of the year, don't forget.
That's
Jeez.
subliminal advertising.
This dude.
But yeah, so that's new for me.
That's cool. Chris, anything new and exciting with you?
It was a good weekend. I got done with my movies pretty early. Like Friday was the last review I had to do, so I had the whole weekend to kind of rest. Saturday we went and enjoyed some Arthur Treachers, which was a bomb.
Fantastic.
There was like one other person in the whole restaurant.
Yep.
So
You guys actually went to Arthur Treachers?
Mhm.
What'd you get?
you want to take the
You can
honors?
go ahead.
Well, I had the number 2, which was 3 pieces of chicken, a hush puppy, and fries. I added 1 extra piece of chicken on there.
Yeah,
And
boy.
you, sir?
I had plenty. I had chicken, fish, and a whole lot of hush
This
puppies.
guy got 6 hush puppies, man.
Dude, I do too. Every time I get a side of hush
You
puppies.
have to.
I get the 3 chickens and then I get extra hush puppies.
Yeah.
Well, I knew like going in, he didn't know, but I knew I'm like, I'm going to pay for this. And like when he was like 6 hush puppies, I'm like, you motherfucker.
He knew.
I had no clue. No, I tried to pay.
But yeah, that was good. And then Saturday night we went out and we shot pool at Fiddlesticks, which was packed.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy packed. And yeah, we were just playing there all night, kind of hung out a little bit, and then we went and did our got our shrimp on
Yeah.
yesterday, which isn't technically part of the weekend, but I count it because it's kick ass anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But
Good stuff.
yeah, 851 shrimp.
Jesse, how many did you have?
I think I only finished at 46 because I didn't get the extra 6.
thought
He
you
never
had
brought
50.
them. I was going to hit it and beat you, but the guy didn't bring my last 2 plates because that would have put me 6 ahead of you.
I thought you were only 1 down of me.
Mhm.
Okay.
So if you had
Yeah.
51, I had 45.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. The weekend was good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Arthur Treachers was dope. Fiddlesticks was a good time. Chris made me look like a fucking chump. It was
You are a
absolute-
fucking chump.
It was absolutely awful.
You even made the Final Four yet?
Jeez.
Oh my god.
At least you're good at children's games like mini golf.
I'm sorry. How
Oh.
I beat you, bro. That's all I care about.
Oh.
I'd rather be the mini
and you
golf
got a
top
lollipop
3 than-
afterwards.
The mini golf's got a lot tougher competition. I'll say that.
Yeah. This chump over here. Barely beat Brad. Barely beat Brad.
But did I beat him?
Hey.
I beat him.
I'm pretty
You
sure
did.
you went out real early in mini golf.
Win's a win.
You didn't win?
In what?
Chris won.
Oh, mini golf?
Chris is the winner.
Pool, you
Hey.
mean?
Yeah,
I'll get him.
anything. None of us won. Chris is the
Yeah.
only one that won.
I'll get him next year.
Yeah, shrimp.
See you in the finals.
Shrimp was a little disappointing. I don't know what to expect with that, but it was.
Ernie,
so-
you goddamn bastard.
Yeah.
Dang.
So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
Why was it disappointing?
Look, I don't know what to go and expecting anymore with these things, but if you're gonna offer whatever it's called, is it endless?
Endless shrimp.
Ultimate endless shrimp. If you're gonna offer that, then not that they didn't. I mean, I guess they kept bringing it as much as we wanted, but it was
But
the
did they?
service was terrible.
Yeah.
It was literally like 20 minutes in between each 6 shrimp that
No.
you got.
The first full hour that we were there, we received our full first portion, which is like 4 servings.
Right.
And then we got 1 more in an
Right.
hour. And then they started coming out every 20 minutes near the end. We were there
Right.
for 2.5 hours.
Right. 20 minutes and this dude played us. He would come back. We said, all right, Jesse set it up. Jesse says, all right, from now on, here's how it's going to go. When you bring it, we're going to order our next one right then when you bring our current order.
Had to lay down the law.
He laid down the
Ernie.
law. And then Ernie comes and Jesse's like, all right, can we get it? She's like, yeah. Hold on. I'm
I'm gonna be right back.
Yeah, someone's talking to me. And then 25 minutes later, he comes back. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
He played us all night.
Here's my top 100 reasons why the Steelers suck. Here we go.
Yes.
Yeah, Ernie wants to be a sports broadcaster. His dream is to be with Stephen A. He said one day.
God, why?
Ernie, you're not going to get there based off of just the way you
Jeez.
presented your argument. The dude starts giving us all these sports takes, and they're identical to the shit that I've been writing, and we're just dying.
Yeah.
Like he talks about how LeBron's better than Jordan. He gives us all the exact same reasons.
Jordan didn't play anybody.
He didn't play anybody. Like he played in a weak era. He's saying all this shit, and we're just dying because I'm like, this guy, he's trying to get a big tip.
Me
He
and
goes,
Chris legit thought that Jesse set this up.
Yeah.
it was identical.
It was word for word.
Yeah.
So then he goes, oh yeah, man, my dream is to be a sports broadcaster or whatever. And my dad goes, well, just so happens, my son over here, he writes for Sports Illustrated. And Ernie tries to clout chase so quick. He goes, wait, what's your name? And I go, Jesse Unk. He goes, Unk.
I just read that.
I think I read that.
I just read
And
that
I'm like,
article right in
oh.
the back room.
That's dope. He walks away. I'm like, that fucking guy didn't read that shit.
I was just reading that when I was waiting on your shrimp for the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
That fucker.
Thanks, Jesse, for writing long articles. Now we got to wait for our shrimp fucking longer.
6,500 words on that one.
Dude. Yeah. So it was, and then no biscuits. Now it's only by
We asked for
request.
biscuits, and the biscuits didn't
So here's
come.
the thing. It's only by request now. They don't just bring them.
That's
and
so
Ron said, yeah, then bring some. Never brought any. It was bad. The service was awful.
Took 45 minutes to get my dad another beer.
Yeah.
Took 20 minutes for us to get more water. Chris asked for Scampi. He said he'd get the Scampi. He came back 30 minutes later to get our order and
He
asked
never
him
brought-
again because he didn't put the Scampi
He didn't even put it in. Yeah.
Yeah. He kept, I don't know. He kept trying to play it off like they were busy, and they weren't. And then your dad asked him, how much is this beer? He's like, let me go check. Gone 20 minutes, come back. And he's like, so how much is this beer? He's like, oh, off the top of my head, it's this much, but let me go check. I'm like, bro, you were gone for 40 minutes. You're supposed to be checking. I even saw him go to the fucking computer
Yeah.
because it was right behind over your shoulder.
So then
It was awful.
we finally get to the end of the night. We've eaten 150 shrimp between the three of us or more. And I'm like, this guy fucking sucked. I'm ready to tip this fucking dude $2. And I see these fucking guys pull out tens. And I'm like, I know this meal is $20. So why the fuck are they giving him $30, $35 right now? And they're like, keep the change. I'm like, motherfuckers. And now I got to tip the guy decently.
You don't have to.
Here's the thing, though. It was so funny because Jesse's like, yeah, you guys tip good, so I will. And he's over there writing. And then he tried to like slide it under the thing. And then the guy's like, I'll take it. And Jesse was
I
like,
gave that guy $5.
Jesse was like shaking hands. And
$5.
I was dying, bro.
$5. How much did you guys tip him?
$10.
Yeah.
$10. That's 33%.
$10.
That's not even average.
you
That's
gave him?
over and above.
Huh?
What did you give him?
Well, I gave him 30. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was,
$10.
my meal was, I think 18 or something,
Yeah.
19.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he got a $10 tip.
That
Let,
guy.
let me tell you why, like I have been shit on when it comes to like restaurant jobs. And like, even if my service is bad or whatever and all that, like I know exactly that kind of deal.
Yeah. So one rule of thumb is when you go out to eat,
20%.
no, well, yes, but a rule of thumb is if you go out and it's a night that's a special,
Mhm.
you're supposed to tip based on what the bill would be without the discount. So if you go out for like boneless,
Jesus.
if you go out for like half off,
52 shrimp. That's like,
well, if
it's
you
like
go
an
out-
$80 bill.
well,
Yeah.
here's the thing: if you go out for wings and it's half off, so you pay $10 and the normal would be $20, you're supposed to tip them based on the $20 meal, not the $10 meal.
But this is my thing. I believe in 20% down payment, no
Down payment.
questions asked. All right.
yeah.
But if you are shitty, I'm not giving you money, man. Like that is a
Yeah.
reflection of your work to me. Now, I've never been a waiter, so I don't know. I
Mhm.
can't experience it because that's one of my things. I'm never a dick to people
Mhm.
because I worked at the theater and I know what that's like. And I go out of my way, no matter how bad you are, to not be a dick.
Right.
So maybe it's different if I actually did it. But I don't know, man. I have a very hard time
Yeah.
tipping well if you are fucking awful. And Ernie, no offense.
Right.
Hope your sports career pans out, but you are fucking awful.
He fluffed you more than us, and you gave him the cheapest.
Right. So here's my thing, and this is where
Welcome
I
to
kinda,
Cleveland, motherfucker.
but where I kind of struggled is that he was really nice and personable. I know it like the shrimp part sucked, but we don't know what was going on behind the scenes. Maybe like we joked about, maybe his manager's like, hey, you got to chill, like you got to slow up. And he was being pressured by it because he was a really nice guy. Like he tried to be nice and have conversation and be personal. I wasn't going to give him a shitty tip.
Yeah.
That situation with the endless though, there's more to that. Like we kind of, Chris said, like there's got to be a
He
timer where
expanded
they
on
gotta,
it though.
yeah. With
He
the,
said that it was on the screen, and as soon as it goes out, you can put it back on the screen, which led me
Yeah.
to my, all right, Ernie, this is how we're going to do it
Yeah.
then.
and he
And it
played
still
us.
didn't go that way.
That's true.
So-
it is true.
Did
Yeah.
you notice how Ernie reacted on our way out?
No. Oh, he was like kind of like looking
We
down. at the
we
computer
walked
weird.
down, and he's like doing his stuff at the computer or whatever, and we're like, all right, have a good night. And he's like, all right, yep.
Yeah.
Like he was like, fuck these guys. Like I don't give a shit anymore. And I was
Yeah,
like,
oh,
see, I knew
yeah.
I shouldn't have given him $6. It should have been $2.
Yeah, he did.
Jesus.
No, it's true. He definitely didn't like
That personality went right out the door.
yeah, he
I-
played us.
Those fuckers ate that Sports Center shit up.
I'd probably go to the Fairlawn one if I had a choice again.
Yeah.
I always forget that's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our fantastic endless shrimp experience.
Shrimp was good.
Shrimp was good.
Banana shrimp, corn shrimp, apple shrimp, bubba shrimp,
Shrimp kebabs, shrimp scampi,
shrimp sandwich.
fried shrimp.
Shrimp sandwich. Ugh.
You need a shrimp sandwich?
Ugh. It sounds
Shrimp sandwich is
awful.
good, man.
Does
Little
not
bread, little sriracha.
A little bread on a sandwich? Damn.
I'm just saying.
Does that come with chips on the queso?
You like shrimp? You like bread? Why wouldn't you like a shrimp sandwich?
I don't seafood. I'm really weird about like shrimp. Like that's why I kept getting the fried kind. Seafood to me is just it kind of grosses me out, and that's why like after pounding all that shrimp, I just felt like gross. Seafood is just like dirty to me.
I don't
for
like
some
fish.
reason. I don't know.
I like all the dirty animal. Like I like crab and shrimp, all the shit that eats everything off the ground.
I'm not
like,
big into fish. Yeah.
I like the crustaceans, man. Give me some oysters.
Do like drunken mussels and stuff.
What's the difference between a regular mussel and a drunken mussel?
They literally soak them in a pitcher of beer. Like it just submerged in a thing of beer.
I'm not really huge on like oysters, clams. Like I'll eat them, but like it's not my go-to.
Yeah.
I like crab first and foremost over anything.
Yeah.
Shrimp second, lobster third. I think lobster's a little overrated. But I'll do it all. Like clams, mussels, all that stuff. The only thing I've never had is scallop.
Oh, scallops are good.
I heard they're good. Just haven't had one yet.
Yeah, I can't do the oysters or mussels. Just the consistency just looks so it's nasty, bro.
It's very similar to something else.
Clams?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I figured. Jeez. Yeah, so that's all for the past week anyways. What are you guys excited about? Where do we want to start the show? Sports?
Not me.
Hollywood?
I've been doing the curtain
I'll go
pull for the
first.
last couple
Want to do
weeks.
sports?
Get my sports out of the way. There's not much to it.
All right, we'll do sports.
Swung on, line to deep left field. It is gone! 45-40. Run, William, run! 20, 15. Iguodala to Curry. Back to Iguodala. Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the...
This is locker room talk.
We got to take that fucking loser off of there.
I tried to do the wave, but Jesse's eyes were closed.
Yeah,
I never do the wave.
I did.
No, I did it.
The wave is the lamest thing in sports.
Wow.
If the wave comes to me, I sit there.
I don't think I do it in public either, honestly. It's kind of stupid.
I don't do it in private. I don't do it in public. The wave needs to die.
Jeez.
Stephen A. Smith's on the top of my list. Anyway, so
For that he to die?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fuck him, dude. You guys talk about Colin Cowherd as Cleveland fans. Fuck Stephen A.
The
Smith.
thoughts and comments of Jesse Unk do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
But Chris's do.
That is true. He has an in.
Mr. Jesse Young.
Yes.
What's going on in the wide world of sports?
In the wild world of sports, we were severely let down.
Yeah. Were we?
I wasn't, but Cleveland was. Cleveland was very upset for whatever reason. They were very set on the idea of JJ Watt.
I thought Green Bay was going to get him.
I did too. I really did. He went to Arizona. He sent Kyler Murray a text saying that he was there because he believed in him. I guess.
Did you see the
Kyler Murray's good, but he's not like I'm
He's
not
not
believing
carrying a
him
team.
over. He's not. I don't know if he's top 10. I mean, he was this year, but I don't know
Yeah.
if I'd take him consistently.
I would.
Guy's so small.
He's
Like
got an arm, though.
One bad. I don't know. He's probably top 10, but he ain't top 5. There's 5
No.
guys for sure that I believe in over him.
Yeah.
I believe in Baker over him. I said it. Hot take.
I don't.
I do.
Did you see
Um,
supposedly that it leaked on his Peloton account?
Oh,
His Watt like had a Peloton account or something, and supposedly he had on like his profile
Mhm.
like something about where he was going, and it like leaked, and then they like he like deleted his account or something.
Did he have the shirt on, like Arizona shirt?
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't believe that.
I don't know. I didn't read too
But
much into
dude,
it. I saw it as a headline.
He was in an Arizona shirt working out with an announcement. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
So- Big letdown there for Cleveland, I guess.
So, question: does that make Arizona better? Like, does that take them from, say, I don't know, 8 wins to 9 wins, or?
I mean, it'll make him better. It matters if he gets healthy, though. Like, there's some badass offensive lines in that division. You got to go up against the Rams. You got to go up against the Seahawks. Seahawks aren't great offensive line, but I think they'll fix it.
Niners have a good one.
Niners have a good offensive line. Like, that's going to be a really tough division. So if you're trying to win and go to a Super Bowl, why are you going to a division like that? That just doesn't make any sense.
Ryan's theory was the only one that I took merit with, and I'm like, I get it, the warm weather.
yeah,
But
I mean, I was kind of joking, but it's the only thing I can think of. Like, you've been living in Texas, stay somewhere warm. It's still local to where you're kind of at now. It's not too far. Family and stuff is there in Texas. Like,
Yeah.
Ohio's a trek, man. Like, I mean, going from Texas to living in Ohio.
But couldn't Cleveland have paid him the most, or is that
Cleveland did offer him more.
okay?
Cleveland and
So it's not money.
No. Cleveland and another team, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but they both offered him. He got 31 million, 23 guaranteed, and he was offered
Tennessee.
35 million. I think it was Tennessee.
Yeah.
He was offered 35 and I think 23. So
Tennessee
you have
wanted
an
him bad.
upside of, potential money made off your salary that he could have taken, but whatever. I mean, you want to go to Arizona, go to Arizona. I'm not stressed.
I just don't.
I don't know why everybody else in Cleveland is. Like, there are a lot of other better options. I don't know if they're better talent-wise, but like health, age,
Yeah.
trusting that they'll be there. I've been kind of looking through it. I think we should go after Takaris McKinley. Tack McKinley hasn't lived up to his potential. He's supposed to be like an elite guy. He was taken in the first round, but he's been solid. He'll be cheap because nobody believes in him, and
He needs
he's
a
had
chance.
really explosive plays and stuff over the years. So he's only 25 years old too. That's the type of guy that I feel like we go after, like that money ball type of thing. And then I really want Richard Sherman, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'd like to see Jason Verrett or Verrett. I don't know how you pronounce it. He's been really, really good. He's kind of like a boomer bust type of dude, but if he booms, then you're good to go. And he's 26. So
Is that a position that they need to fill, that someone's leaving, or they were just trying to pick up Watt?
we had Olivier Vernon, who had a really good year, but
Oh.
then he tore his ACL at the end of the season. So
Yeah.
he's not going to play next year. He's probably going to end up retiring. So he's out. And then,
Their defense just needs help anyway. So that's like the one address.
yeah, a lot of people are talking about signing Levante David, but that's the thing is like in Cleveland, we've always been bad for so long. Everybody has always wanted to sign the most elite free agent. Like, get the best of the best.
Right.
We want Richard Sherman because we know that name. We want JJ Watt because we know that name. We want Devontae David because he won a Super Bowl. But like, that's not how football works. You don't go and sign the top guy for the top amount of money when you have to sign 4 key players on your team next year.
Especially now with the money troubles that every team is running into.
Yeah, and we're in good money space, but like, there's no saying that the cap isn't going to increase significantly. And even though we have a ton of money left over, next year we have to sign Denzel Ward, Nick Chubb if we sign him, Baker Mayfield, and Wyatt Teller. His contract's coming up too. So you've got all these guys that you got to pay big time money to, big money positions, and people are like, let's go give Levante David $65 million. And it's like, you're fucking stupid.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Your linebacker is not changing your game that much. You
No.
got to get a pass rush, you got to have cornerbacks, and you got to have an offensive and defensive line. That's it.
Yeah. I saw a post on Instagram that the Browns, I think, are 13th in available money, which kind of surprised me. My team kind of surprised me more that we were 16th. I'm like,
Yeah.
God, I thought we were in the bottom 5 because we're in serious money trouble.
Well,
Yeah.
you're in 16th because technically you haven't re-signed Dak Prescott yet. So
Yeah,
that
that's true.
huge quarterback contract is off of your books. As
I
soon
don't
as
think
you
they will.
sign him, though, you're not there anymore.
I don't think they will. I'm telling you.
If they don't sign him, they're stupid.
They franchise him this year. They'll let him go next year. Guaranteed.
Didn't they already franchise him once?
Yes.
So you would have to pay, like, the original franchise is top 10 average money.
Mm-hmm.
The second time, it's like top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to be paying that dude like $45 million on the year.
Their own fault.
They won't do it.
Stupid.
That's their own fault.
If at that point, you just need to trade him because he's going to be so pissed. He's not going to go. You can't franchise him a third time. It's impossible.
Mhm.
You literally have to cut half your roster.
What does that technically mean? To say you franchise them?
So franchise
You s-
tag is whenever you go, like, your contract ends, but instead of letting you hit the market, you can franchise tag them, force them to stay on your team.
Yeah.
The only way out of it is if another team gives you 2 first-round picks in a trade.
But so how is that? How do you utilize it? You can just do that anytime you
You
want.
get 1 per year that
Yeah.
you can use. So if they use it on you, they have to pay you. If it's the first time they use it, it's the average of the top 10 at the position.
Okay.
So if you're a receiver, it's going to be like $15 million for the year or something. If
Okay.
it's a quarterback, you're paying like $35 million.
So if you do that, you get them for 1 more season,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
They
You can
have
do
to
that
stay for
once a
you
year
for 1 season unless somebody gives you 2 first rounders in a trade
them.
at least.
And players hate it because they just want the best deal that they can possibly get.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to them after they've proven it, especially in Dak's case.
yeah.
Yeah. So
It's not like a respected thing. Like, people are like, you're getting so much money and it's all guaranteed, but it's
Yeah.
like, you don't have any longevity. If you break your leg that year or tear your ACL or something in your
You only
career
got the
ends,
1
you're
year.
fucked. Whereas if they sign you to a 6-year deal, $120 million guaranteed.
Right. Yeah, that's whack.
Yeah, it's definitely, that's why the NFL is such a owner-friendly league.
Did Browns do that with Baker? Did they franchise him?
No, he's got a 5th-year option on his rookie deal that they can exercise next year. He still technically has up to 2 years available.
Okay.
But there are rumors that they'll either extend him this year or next year. They won't franchise him.
Yeah. What
So,
else?
yeah, the Watt news was the big thing.
Yeah.
And then I don't have the list pulled up.
Well, I got a quick blurb while you pull that up. I just got a thing showing that the Rockets are going to retire Harden's number.
That's
Wow,
stupid.
Really?
What did he ever do for your franchise?
That's why I was going to be my question. What do you guys do you think? What do you think is something that's substantial enough that you would retire a player's number?
You don't have to necessarily win a championship for me to retire your number, but you have to like play your career with me.
The whole career?
The majority of it. Like he can't, I don't know. Like I get that if he would have finished his career in Houston, it would have been fine because he started with the Thunder. He came to them later.
I think he did more than the Thunder, to be honest. Like
he did, and then now he's left. He's still in the prime of his career.
Yeah. And
you're playing to contend with another team. Like if they go and win a ring in Brooklyn at some point, like that's a slap in the face. I don't want your fucking number up in my stands.
Right.
So Ryan's question actually led me to my own question. Would you consider Kyrie to ever be retired for Cleveland? Like as far as his number, he hit the biggest shot in Cleveland history.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge play, but he's going to play the majority of his career outside of Cleveland when it's all said and done. He wasn't the best player on those teams. LeBron will absolutely be retired.
Before Bronny was.
Yeah, but what was he doing?
Right.
We were winning 18 games. Like we were awful. He was scoring a lot and he was winning like a fourth quarter shot here and there. And they were like, Mr. Fourth Quarter, like doing all this other shit, but he wasn't winning anything for us. He wasn't that good. And since then he hasn't been any good. He can't stay on a roster. So I probably wouldn't for Kyrie. I wouldn't for Kevin either.
I don't think that they've given enough to the game to have a retired number. I mean, you got to
I'd retire Tristan before I retired them.
I don't even think I would retire Tristan.
I wouldn't, but I'm saying if I had to choose a second person other than LeBron, I would do Tristan before them.
Who on the Cavs do we know offhand that have had jerseys retired?
Price, Doherty,
all the
Nance,
80s guys.
The 90s dream team. And
Price,
stuff.
Doherty,
Nance,
Nance.
Mark Price. Yeah. I don't know any others. Zydrunas Ilgauskas was the most recent.
Really though?
He played out his career with us. He was solid. We sucked. That's why he's up there. If we were a really good team, he wouldn't be up there.
He deserved a ring with us. He got one with Miami.
Yep. He's a good guy. That dude's huge. Yeah. I know a couple of people who have met him, and like he's just got the. Side note on Z. Do you guys ever? You remember those puppet commercials with LeBron?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Did you guys ever see like the super fucking racist one? They put one out. This went on TV, right? And Bron's in a barbershop getting his hair cut. He's with Kobe. They're arguing like, oh yeah, man, I'm better. You know, I got triple doubles. What's that backwards? 2-3, like all this other stuff. And at the end of it, Z comes in and he's got this super like Eastern European accent. He's like, who wants to buy some DVDs? And I swear to God, I watched that. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
I got that up.
It was live everywhere, man. And
they got
nobody said anything. No, nothing ever came from
today.
it.
That shit would be canceled so quick today.
I was shocked.
Who want to buy?
But he's like he's got his fucking jersey on and shit. Or something identifies him. Maybe Brown's like, what's up, Z? Or something. He's like, who wants to buy some DVDs?
Oh my God.
Dude, that's so fucked up.
You got it?
I heard you gotta go to training camp 3 weeks early.
This is it.
You know, that's a different breed. Buy some DVDs. Big Z, what up?
Big Z, what up?
What up, boy? Yeah, on me. Look at that. Chest bump. Get it. I'm counting. Pose for the pitch. That might could be possibly dangerous. Salute the gentleman. Bring it in.
So now they're doing all the handshake shit.
Jeez.
You want to buy some?
You got to send me that link,
Bro, it's crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. For me, you got to win a ring for me or multiple if you're going to be there for a short amount of time. You have to have major influence on the city in some form or fashion, or you have to spend your career with me and be a solid player while you do it.
Have all of your top 10 players had their jerseys retired?
Oh, I'm sure. Bird's been retired.
Except
Magic's
LeBron.
been retired. LeBron will have his
He
retired.
hasn't had his retired yet for the Cavs?
He's
or
not
anything?
retired.
He's not retired yet.
Oh, it can't be.
Your
until
number
you're-
doesn't get retired until you're done.
What's his name? So they're saying they're going to retire with the
will.
Rockets once he finally
Potentially.
retires.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
I'm sure Kareem,
Yeah, he did.
Jordan is obviously.
Yes.
Hakeem is.
Yes.
I don't know if Kobe's is yet, but it will be for sure if it's not.
I thought.
Both 8 and
I
24?
think it is.
I think
thought
they
they
talked
did
about
it
they
at
were
his
gonna do
death.
both, didn't they? Weren't they going to
Yeah.
do both of them?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was one of those things where it was just they didn't expect for him to pass so soon, so it's just not done yet, but
Yeah.
it will be.
That was just
Shaq
like
is-
they
Yeah.
didn't they talk about inducting him
Shaq's
into
got
the
a
Hall of
fucking
Fame,
statue.
like expedite him getting inducted in the Hall of Fame or something because everything that
Yeah.
happened.
I would imagine. I mean, he's a first ballot anyway. You know.
Right. Everybody knew he was getting in there.
Yeah.
Shaq has a fucking statue, so I'm sure his is done as well.
Yeah.
34.
Hmm.
I think it's all of them.
I think
don't know.
Shaq's retired in Orlando too. I really do.
Yeah. Which I don't agree with that. Like that, I don't agree with.
Yeah, it kind of goes against what you were saying.
Because he was solid there, but he didn't do anything. And then he left and had all of his best years in Los Angeles
Lakers,
and got another ring in Miami. Like he didn't do anything for Orlando.
Yeah.
Except for break a couple backboards.
Dude, that was the best.
Mm-hmm. Boy, had some fire, man.
Yeah. Like
A lot of weight.
Paul Pierce got his retired for the Celtics. I agree with that. But like
He's
I don't
trash.
like
I hate Paul Pierce.
Because LeBron hates him.
No, I just do not like Paul Pierce
Really?
at all.
I love Paul
man.
Pierce.
No, he's
I
a
liked
fucking-
Paul Pierce
he's a
even
punk.
whenever they were like our rivals. I've always respected Paul Pierce.
He's just a punk to me, man.
I don't like Ray Allen.
I don't like Ray Allen.
Jesus,
Ray Allen.
Shuttlesworth.
Yeah, don't like him. Sorry. It's probably because of that game 6 in Miami. I was like, you motherfucker. Like I wanted that second ring to be lost so bad.
He's definitely one of the best 3-point shooters, though.
Oh, for sure. He was the greatest of all time before Steph Curry came along.
Yeah, I'd
and then the
agree.
game changed, and now you're gonna have a bunch of guys surpass him. But I think he's a better. I don't know if he's a better shooter because Curry is the best shooter I've ever seen. But like Ray wasn't jacking up 15 threes in a game
Mhm.
either. Like it's just different. But like I wouldn't support if the Celtics retired Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett's numbers, even though they won that championship for them. Like I don't agree with that. I think
Yeah.
the Timberwolves should.
Interesting.
Ray-
That's interesting too.
I don't know. Ray was with Supersonics, right? Or not Supersonics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Supersonics.
Bucks and Sonics.
Is Supersonics still a team?
No.
No.
That name was so
They're
good.
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
City Thunder.
Dude, I love the Supersonics.
Yeah, they had the badass jerseys when they redid them in the 90s.
Seattle's pissed about it still.
Yeah,
Big time.
Yeah.
They still want that franchise back.
dude. All right, so yeah, so I guess homeboy's getting his retired. I don't, whatever. I'm not. I mean, I don't hate James Harden, but I don't know if he deserves that for the Rockets. But
That's questionable.
you had some talk about Brown's trades possibility.
Well,
And we kind of talked about that.
it was
but-
more free agents acquirements and stuff. Like you
Yeah.
got Carl Lawson available. I think that Cameron Jordan's going to become available. Because their sap calorie is even worse than the Steelers. They're like $70 million over. If you're going to make a cut, it's probably going to be him.
Nice pickup.
Cornerbacks, there's quite a few out there. I don't even know, man. I had the list in front of me. Jimmy something. There's all types of people available, but I want Tack McKinley, Jason Verrett. Cheap, get them both, high potential, young guys, not breaking the bank, can still re-sign your players, and then if they do well, you can if they do well, then you can still re-sign your guys and then keep them in the long term.
Little
if you
risk.
need to. A little bit of risk, but it's only 2 years, so I think it's solid.
Cool.
And then finally, Bron, our boy, finally has his first official beef.
Yes,
Some guy named Zlatan
Zlatan.
who wants to buy some DVDs.
The thoughts and comments of Jesse Unk do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
Sorry,
Whoops.
you can't control him.
Fuck
He does
him.
whatever he wants.
So he came out. Zlatan did, or however you say his fucking name. I don't watch soccer. Zoltan. He whatever it is, I don't fucking know. He came out and said that LeBron basically needs to shut up and dribble. Like he said, keep
Yeah.
the politics out of your game. That's not why we're here, blah, blah, blah. Bron came back and said, I'll never shut up. It's always going to be bigger than basketball for me. I'm always going to stand up for my people and injustice and doing the right thing, basically. I don't have the exact quote in front of me.
Good for him.
Zlatan came back. Usually that's the end of it, you know? Zlatan came back and said, athletes need to stick to athletics. So
Stay
now
on your lane.
I'm waiting for Bron to come back and hit him with the...
He's just in it for the clout. If you're arguing with Bron, you're just trying to get some recognition or something.
I don't know, man. Soccer's a huge sport. Like, we don't watch it.
Outside of the United States, it's huge.
Dude's got clout, though. He doesn't need any United States clout.
I've always hated this argument, though, the whole athletes are athletes kind of thing. We've talked about this a couple times on here, but for me, it's like, look, they're using their popularity and their platform to sell a message.
Right.
And, you know, who wouldn't? If you had 2 million followers, I know LeBron has way more. If you had millions of followers on your page, you'd probably want them to listen to
this show we do.
Anything.
The purpose of the show is to try and discuss and populate change.
Yeah.
Our platform isn't huge like LeBron,
Mhm.
but if it ever was, I would hope that we use it to freaking talk about.
Joe Rogan
Positive
pushes
stuff.
his message. Dude's all about get your vitamin D and all this other shit. Like, he believes in that stuff. He pushes it all the time.
But Jesse, if somebody told you, like, so you push like Black Lives Matter, for instance, someone told you, just stick to being a teacher. Like, how stupid would that be?
Yeah,
Like,
tell them to shove it up their ass.
Yeah.
You ever heard a teacher say that before, you dick?
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that by any means. I respect anyone that's willing to take that stance and utilize their platform to discuss it, because they have the ability to reach such a broad audience that why not?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's ignorant. Just because you're an athlete doesn't mean it takes away your ability to have beliefs or anything outside of the sport.
Mm-hmm. And that's a
People are
form of
ignorant.
stereotyping too, to say like, just be a big dumb athlete and just stick to your ball and stick to your hoop and all that.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, people never look at it. The people who say keep it to sports are usually conservative people. And you never see that, like when Alexander Villanueva stood for the national anthem when the rest of the team stayed in the locker room.
Mhm.
Nobody was going stick to sports because that fit their agenda.
Yep. They're like good for him for fucking sticking up for it.
Yeah. He's expressing his First Amendment rights. But as soon as you say something that doesn't fit the agenda, then it's, well, these guys are just stupid fucking athletes. All they do is
100%.
bounce a ball. And I hate that argument too, because it's like people love sports. It's the most watched thing in the world. Like, it's the number one entertainment industry.
Mhm.
Right.
So everybody's watching it, but as soon as they say something you don't like, now they're just dumb, stupid athletes that should just stick to putting a ball in a hoop.
Mhm.
Like, it's more than that, and you fucking know it.
Hey, I'll take all that fucking money to be a dumb retard that dribbles a ball.
I would too.
All
Play a
day
child's game.
Yeah.
I'm not condoning that word or the behavior, but I'm just saying that if that's what someone called me and I was making $45 million a year, then sure.
Right. Side note, did you guys see Myles Garrett did that 64-inch vertical jump?
Yeah, you sent me.
The
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
He's a freak.
He is a freak, dude.
I want to see the first like 2 or 3 times.
He's a monster. He put out a video. I guess they got the measurement wrong. It's not 6'4". It's like 5'9" or
That's
something like
whack.
that.
Don't matter then, bro.
He was like, I'll get 6'4" by next week. Like, the dude is
Jeez.
fucking jacked. That dude's thigh is like the size of my chest. He's insane.
Why don't you come on our show and prove it to us?
Right, you punk.
Yeah, Miles, we know where you live.
I do know where you live, actually.
We're gonna drop off some merch again.
This bum.
Have you?
Can't
Did you
jump.
drop anything off yet?
No.
He doesn't have any fucking fences. Just walk over there and do it.
How do you know he's not got any fences?
Because you sent a picture.
Whoops, I did.
Guys, look at this T-Rex that he put up for Christmas.
Yeah, dude. At Christmas time, he had his front yard decorated with Christmas dinosaurs. It was dope,
dude.
He was rocking his JP shirt in that video.
Just go over there and be like, "Hey, man, I know you live here. Like, I'm just here to say what's up. I got a podcast.
I know you live here.
I know you
obviously.
live.
Showed up.
My dad lives across the street. I've seen you walking your dogs. I'd like to have you on the podcast.
Let's go, all three of us.
I'll go. Fuck it.
It's gonna look like
I don't even
Mark
need you,
Wahlberg in
pussy.
Fear.
He said, I don't even need you, pussy. Jeez.
I'll go over there myself. I'll bring him a dinosaur toy. He'll be like, dope. Oh, come on.
Oh, bro, we should get him the Jurassic Park Lego set. It's
There you go.
dope.
There you go.
It's the gate and then the T-Rex coming through it.
But I'll be really salty if he doesn't come on the show then, because that's probably like $150.
It's $200.
Oh,
Why are Legos so expensive?
Let's get it for him. That would be so
He can afford it.
dope.
You just signed a $100 million deal, Miles. Just come on the show and be gracious, you dick.
It's a really great way to get him to come on the show. Let's bully him into it.
Look, Miles, I love you. All right. I listen to you all the time. I defended you for COVID because I had COVID too. I looked up to you. But don't be an
You're
asshole.
letting us down. by not
Yeah.
coming on our lame ass podcast.
We have a 6-year-old that wants to talk dinosaurs with you or something. I don't know. He likes to trade toys with kids and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's going off the rails a little bit. Come on the show.
Anyhow, the only other thing with sports is our fearless leader from the Cleveland Indians, Terry Francona.
Mr. Terrence Francona
Yikes.
covering up for the sexual abusers.
It's not a good look.
His son even said in his statement, though, that I'm trying to kick it down, but it won't go.
I'm shaking the camera every time.
Camera, stop shaking. I'm
Can
trying to
I
close the
kick
pizza
it?
box. So fill me in because I didn't get to read the whole entire thing. I know his son came out and made some allegations against him.
So apparently,
Sonny Francona.
yeah, but what was the guy's name that got accused? Someone that was an Indians faculty in like 2017-ish or so had some allegations against him for like sexual misconduct or sexual harassment or something like that. And Terry Francona,
Mickey Callaway.
and then the owner of the Indians apparently knew about it and kind of just brushed it under the rug. They traded him to Francona's son's team, and they like praised him as being like this great guy and everything. And Terry Francona was asked about it, and apparently his son said that he like lied about it, and they all knew, and now it's all coming out again because I think something else happened. More people are coming out and saying like,
Yeah, more women have come out and accused him.
so now it's just a big debacle about the Indians and their leadership team basically covering up this guy's actions. Apparently a husband of some female that must have been harassed or something by him like came out and is like fucking livid and stuff about it. And then his son blasted him. His son came out and was like, I don't condone his behavior. I've pretty much written him off. Like he knew about this and he's done it before, and he's had things like this even against himself.
Ooh.
And me and Chris were talking offline about it, and we were and both were in agreement that it kind of comes off bad. His son's
Perspective.
notoriety or whatever perspective kind of is tarnished because he talks about how him and his dad don't have a great relationship.
That's what I was going to say.
So then it's kind of like, well, is it just kind of like stick it to your dad? Fuck you. I'm not doing it because it's the right thing to do. I'm just going to throw him under the bus to make him look bad.
And the thing is, with any kind of like potential witness when it comes to things like that, it doesn't matter if it has to be true or not. It's the fact that you've already introduced doubt into the jurors' heads, you know. So you've already said like, well, we have an agenda against each other.
Yep.
Now it's already introduced. It's out there.
Yep. Your stance is pretty much.
Yeah, if you're going
screwed
to
at that point.
blackmail somebody, do it right, man. Just say, like, I love my dad, but there's nothing I can do anymore. I have to come forward.
Right.
Stupid.
It doesn't even make him look like, because I mean, outside of that agenda, it kind of makes it seem like, well, would he have been any better of a person? Would he have come forward because it was the right thing to do? Or is he
Right.
only doing it because he's his dad and he doesn't have a relationship? So he's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because that's the other issue is these things getting covered up. This isn't the first time. This type of stuff is coming out all the time and more often now. And we've had full-on episodes and really in-depth episodes talking about that, and you know, crying wolf, or making sure that it's talked about and these people feel supported. But if he truly did know and it comes out and they covered it up, it's not going to be good for Cleveland or for them in general. More people got to be willing to speak up and
Definitely puts
Be
more heat on
supportive.
the Indians, too. Because now we're not the Indians. So
Right.
it's like, got to change your name. Now you're racist and you're covering up all this other shit.
what are they going to be called now?
Probably call them the Penn State.
Jeez.
Joe Paterno's.
There's not.
Don't
a
hit the button.
There's
They
not a-
did it.
There's not a
They
button.
did it.
There's not a button for that.
The Joe Paterno.
That's like something we've never talked about. That's the past. But
Yeah.
what do you guys think about what they did to Joe Paterno?
I mean, I think
Joe wasn't the one fucking the kids.
Yeah, but
Oh
he
my
knew everything that was
gosh.
going on.
Apparently, so this is,
You're
I go back to
complicit.
this. I go back to
Complicit
this.
at that
So
point.
he made a report to his higher ups, but he didn't push the issue. Is he wrong? Because they
Yeah.
took football from him and he died.
Yeah.
They killed Joe Pa.
I think that you have to take a stand and be the responsible party. If you know what's going on, look, if you knew that one of the teachers at your school was sexually molesting one of the kids,
I beat his ass.
and you went, listen though, when you went to the principal and you said, hey, this is happening, and the principal did nothing, would you just let it go?
So real quick, devil's advocate. because I don't really give a shit about Joe Pa or Penn
Right.
State anyways, but devil's advocate, he didn't know. He had heard somebody either reported it to him or something.
Okay.
If somebody reported to me, hey, I'm pretty sure the science teacher's fucking kids.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm going to the principal. Hey, man, look, I heard this. I didn't see anything. I don't have any proof, but somebody said that they did this. And they said, okay, we're going to look into it. And nothing ever comes from it. Am I really going to push the issue and go forward and be like, oh, man, I 100% believe that this happened and I'm going to push the issue? Or am I going to trust that they looked into it
But
and
you've
let it go?
done more than he did already, because he didn't do that. He
did go forward.
He did not go
He
to forward.
reported it to somebody.
That is not what I heard. What I heard was he heard multiple accusations from multiple students. They went to him, and he just kind of basically swept under the rug and ignored it. And
That's
just
what
went,
I'm pretty sure happened too.
That's not what I heard. If I heard that he made a report, I could be wrong.
and this
But
is
I
all
heard that
happening
he
under
made
his
a
watch,
report, yeah.
regardless. Dude, you have an agenda. Like,
Sure.
you need to go to what's his name? The guy, the guilty guy.
Jerry Sandusky.
Sandusky. Yeah, you need to go to him
The boss.
and fucking say,
Mr. Sandusky, I heard somebody sexually assaulting children.
yeah.
I'll look right into that.
Get
Do you
your-
know the names of the children?
I'd say we don't want anything to do with that. We're separating ourselves as of this moment.
Yeah. They fucked that program up
Yeah.
for years. It's
Yeah.
amazing that they're even like still there. They couldn't do anything for like 3 years. No recruits, no
Basically, a death
bowl.
penalty.
They took everything from them.
Jeez.
What do you think of that?
What?
Taking that from like the program when it's affecting like athletes and all that other stuff.
I mean, we could go back to the was it the SMU program who got it during the early 90s? They got the actual death penalty. There's a great 30 for 30 on that too, about how they illegally recruited, all these great players, and they were on the death penalty for a decade, and it cost their school billions
I'm
of
sure.
dollars.
So here's from the Washington Post. This is April 7th, 2018. And it says, in November 2011, Jerry Sandusky was arrested and charged with sexually abusing 8 boys, including one in a shower on campus a decade before.
Yep.
An incident witnessed by a young graduate assistant who informed legendary coach Joe Paterno and 2 campus administrators, none of whom contacted authorities.
Oh, okay. I was wrong. I
He's
don't know
a
what I was
piece
hearing.
of fucking
I take it back then.
shit.
Yeah.
Joe Pa, you don't deserve your statue.
Yeah, he's a
So-
piece of shit.
At that point, if you know children are being molested at that and you do nothing because
Raped.
you want to try and
They were more than molested.
save your school or your program. Come
Yeah.
on, man. There's things that are bigger than sports, and that's
Yeah.
definitely one of them.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I always thought that he reported it. That was always my like tear in it. And I was like, But
So to answer your question, what do I think about all that, they can't recruit and all that shit?
yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Now you can look at the other players and go, the ones who are innocent, and go, man, that sucks for them and all that. But that's part of it, man. It's that
Yeah.
you had a coach who, was responsible for all these lives, for all the well-being of these players, this program, everything. He fucked it for you. You should be mad at him.
See, I don't necessarily agree with that though, because he's going to prison.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a part of anything anymore, making any more money. Now it depends on anybody who was involved. Fire them, get their asses out of there.
Mhm.
But the kids don't fucking know.
Right.
I think let them go compete, continue on like all that other stuff. But everybody else, everybody should be going to prison that's involved in that, I think.
But a lot of that, though, is based on individual lawsuits, too. It's the fact that they're trying to save face for their school over like the moms and the dads who are probably going to
course.
inevitably sue. They probably say like, look, we understand this happened and all that. We're taking care of it. Like we promise, like just kind of not really but like,
I kind of agree with Jesse to an extent though, because like
Mhm.
I 100% Joe is guilty. Fucking throw him in jail.
Yeah.
Do whatever. Anybody that was directly involved should be punished to whatever the extent is of that punishment.
right.
But the kids that are there on like scholarship and stuff or whatever, whose education and future is relying on it, who had nothing to do with it, and now that's kind of tarnished. That's where I kind of find a struggle with, well, like, do we punish the sports program because of something the coach did? Maybe take away his records and things that he had, his whatever, I can't think of the word, accolades or whatever that he earned under his tenure. But I don't think that you should tarnish the reputation of the student athletes who earned and worked hard to get those, who had nothing to do with, if they didn't cheat the game, nothing to do with the sport. They didn't like win the championship by cheating like fucking Tom Brady.
Get the fuck outta
you know,
here.
it's different. the sport wasn't directly in relation, other than the coach knew about something and didn't do anything.
The problem is that a majority of those instances happened on Penn State campus.
Right.
So with that, you have to punish the grounds too. Yeah. So like it's basically we've punished the coach, we've punished all of the responsible parties, but we're also guilty too because this happened on our campus.
Yeah. So I guess I'd be okay with that, and maybe they did stuff and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'd be okay with that with like anybody that was there on scholarship or something, if they were given the opportunity to like take an equal or something scholarship somewhere else.
Sure.
And like,
I do think that they got an out.
They do.
Because a lot of those players bounced.
Yeah.
Okay. So like that I'm okay with then.
They were like 2-9 the next year. They were fucking horrible. Like for a few years they were bad.
Because that's my.
But then they got Saquon and
I don't give a shit about the school in itself. It's more so the students that are affected. As long as if they were given the opportunity to walk and go somewhere else and still continue, then cool. Fuck Penn State. I don't give a shit at that point.
It's just hard because like, so say you're a junior at Penn State, okay, and now you have to go to, we'll say Northwestern, and you have to earn it all over again at Northwestern. That's the toughest thing.
Yeah, unless you're like a superstar, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, fucking Joe Pa, that piece of shit.
I agree.
Is that all for sports? Anything else? I mean, we were talking about just that stuff. I mean, in general,
sports.
Just making sure, if you know stuff like that's going on, be the bigger person and step up and say something. It's hard.
Otherwise, you're going to fuck your football team.
Right. Fucking football team.
When it goes back to the talk we had, two weeks ago when Jesse wasn't here, about police officers and all that. It's if you know something, you're obligated, even through a brotherhood, you're obligated to.
If you don't say something, you're equally as complicit as the people that are doing the crime or doing whatever it is, Gotta speak up. Yep. So let's do, what do you want to do? Hollywood?
I'll do it. Yep.
Hollywood.
My God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody calm down!
To Steve, assemble!
Christopher.
What's up, my man?
What is going on, man?
Got a couple of stories this week. First of all, I'm going to give Jesse a little time to breathe and check his phone or whatever, because I know he's not going to care about
catching Pokemon over here.
Over there,
first. If you get the Pokemon, you
caught a Fampy.
You can get as many as you want. I got crabs. It's cool.
He wasn't here for that conversation.
So the Golden Globes were Sunday, or not the Golden Globes.
The GGs?
Yeah. And the best in movie and television came together in one night, and we had some surprises and we had some expected winners. Ryan, you watched this. I know you and I were commenting back and forth. What did you think of the Golden Globes before we go into the winners and losers?
Trash.
Mm-hmm.
Trash. I don't watch award shows for a reason, and the Golden Globes just made me realize even more so while I don't watch award shows.
Why is that?
Well, this year was different, obviously, because of COVID. I mean, it was like half there or half Zoom, which technology was awful.
It was strange.
I always feel like they try too hard, and the comedy and like just the skits and stuff were so awful.
Mm-hmm.
It is so hard for me to believe or to understand that a show, an award show, solely based around the best in the business, and then that's all you can come up with as far as like entertainment for the show. It was horrendous, man. It was so bad. I was mildly entertained just as far as overall, like just seeing some of the people and like watching them on Zoom it was kind of cool to an extent, like just seeing them at home, like hanging out, like doing their speeches and stuff.
Yeah.
But the in-between stuff, the host and everything like that, it was awful. I hated it.
Yeah, I thought the comedy was poorly underwritten. Not even just so much from a technicality standpoint, because people were saying, well, the sound's off, the Zoom calls and all that. I said, no, the material is bad. Yes. Yeah, like this is really bad material. Beyond that, I thought like, a couple of the speeches were really moving. I loved Mark Ruffalo's speech. I loved Chadwick Boseman's wife coming on there. She's a beautiful woman. And she just, really poured her heart out and tears out. It was nice to see Chadwick Boseman walk away with the best actor.
Yeah.
And he's definitely got to be a shoo-in now, a favorite for the Oscar.
Yeah.
Because when you win a Golden Globe, that's kind of what they say. It's that you got a pretty good, like 80% chance of taking the big statue now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to go through some of the winners. Nomadland took best dramatic motion picture and director. I saw it. I thought it was
no clue what that is.
It's a movie about basically homeless people who they go out and they live on their own, pretty much without a dime to their name. They just do pretty much what the pioneers did. It's a fascinating movie, but I don't think it's one that really grabbed me as much as it did other people.
Yeah.
There were a few other movies on there, like Promising Young Woman was nominated. The Trial of the Chicago 7. The Father, I gave a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Those are all better movies in my opinion.
I was surprised by Nomadland. It seemed like they were in quite a few things, and I've never heard of it. I had no really understanding of what it was. Father, I wasn't familiar with either. Most of the movies I knew what they were or had seen, but those couple I had no clue.
Yeah.
One thing before we move on to the next category or whatever I wanted to touch on was your comment about the speeches and like Mark Ruffalo's.
Yeah.
And just tying that to like the sports conversation is using that platform.
Mhm.
And that's something that I think he did very well. I think you could tell his wife maybe was getting kind of emotional and his the conversation he was having. And I commend him for that. In utilizing that to speak out. And the nice thing about, I guess it could have went either way, but the nice thing about it being like on Zoom is like he was off to do his own thing and fucking say what he wanted. And there's no one there to come like take the mic away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they could have like turned the screen off, but that would have been super sketchy. So it like gave him the ability to really say what he wanted uninterrupted. And I thought that was really cool that he did that.
They tried a couple of times. So with The Crown, one of their production guys spoke up with one of the 5 awards they won during the night.
Yeah.
And they tried to play him off with the music, the ceremonial music, and he just kept talking throughout it all. I would too.
Good.
That's how I would address it. I'm like, I've waited a lifetime to get here, so it is what it is.
Right.
We talked about Boseman winning for best dramatic actor. Minari took best foreign language film, definitely the best of that category. I highly recommend that film. Borat took 2 awards, best musical or comedy film, and Sacha Baron Cohen, best actor in a musical or comedy.
Nice.
I wonder if that holds up or if they recount those votes.
It's nice.
Wow. I think a lot of people were debating this one. I think though, anytime you have a character or an actor who transforms into a character and totally becomes a complete different identity, especially in a real world canvas, that's always going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, the Academy, the first Borat got nominated.
It still blows my mind that was him in Chicago 7.
Yeah.
Right.
Like just because he transformed so well in his characters that I was like, I just saw it afterwards, like in the credits, and I was like, that was fucking Borat?
Yeah.
Like that was Sacha Baron Cohen? What?
I mean, look at him in Hugo. He's
man.
the train conductor in Hugo. And I mean, even in that, like he's a man of many wardrobe and disguises, much like Johnny Depp. And it's
impressive.
Les
like,
Miserables is the innkeeper, and
there you go.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, just a couple others. Jodie Foster won best supporting actress in a drama. Soul took 2 awards. They took best original score and they took best animated.
I think you mean Sal.
Yeah, I know, right? Who was that screwed that up?
didn't win best ending.
Wow. Jeez.
And just there were, for the most part, I think they got it right. Of course, to me, the one that deserved it the most, Daniel Kaluuya, man, best supporting actor in a drama. I mean,
that was great.
There was if anybody else won that award, I was going to be pissed off. That
he gave Cleveland the shout out.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, for Judas.
Wait, what movie was it for?
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Does that still count? Because it just came out, I thought.
Yeah, it does. But if they get it under, I think what's the date this year? It's pushed back because obviously everything's pushed back. I think it's within February 26th.
So it could have won. It could win an Oscar.
Yeah.
I didn't think that it could. I thought it was going to be on next year's slate.
It better be nominated. I'll tell you that right now.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't know they pushed back all the nominations and everything too.
Yeah, I think Daniel takes the Oscar for best supporting actor. I don't think it takes best movie. It'll get nominated.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll take. I still think Trial of the Chicago 7, even though it lost here, I think it has a very good shot of winning, especially with everything going on with the riots of our world right now and everything going on politically. I think it speaks the loudest. That's just my opinion. But yeah, on a whole, I thought it was kind of an uneventful night in terms of outside of the awards. There's no skits or nothing. The hosts, I thought, fell very flat.
Uneventful outside of the awards? Did you not see Margot Robbie?
I know
That's
you
all
did.
we needed. That's all I needed all night.
Meh.
Get the fuck out of
She
here.
looked all right.
You are trash.
I saw my girl
You
from
are trash.
Anya Taylor-Joy, man, from our miniseries. She won for that too. The Queen's Gambit.
Jesse, you know how I know you're when you said Margot Robbie was
I said meh. Just the way she looked that night. I was like, okay.
Dude, she
all
looked
right.
fine.
Nah.
I mean, she always looks good, but
Right.
so moving on to some other news. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony this year, they have opted as of today, this is breaking news, today, that they are going to move their ceremony to the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse on October 30th of this year. The team says they will have a virtual red carpet and other virtual events.
Lame.
So I guess
Is it so they have more space, or why did they say why they're moving it?
I would think I was looking through it. Rocket Mortgage is only currently approved for 25% seating capacity, so it's not a population thing.
Yeah,
because obviously,
but it's still much bigger than the Rock Hall would be able to hold to have people there.
Well, it would be New York. New York is where they normally.
Is that where they
do
normally have it?
Yeah, the ceremony itself.
Well, that's cool then, though, that they're having it in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's very rare that they do that. Usually, it used to be every other year they'd go Cleveland, New York, back and forth.
Yeah.
I don't know what the prime reason is for this, because I mean, if they're only allowed to have 25%, I imagine that'll change by October. Maybe you'll go up to 50% even.
What is that, like 8,000 people?
Yeah, I mean, they say right now 5,100 is 25%.
Yeah.
So that's still pretty slim. I mean,
I think something came out even maybe today though, from DeWine, that they were bumping the limits on stuff up.
Yeah.
They were like, oh no, you know what? I'm pretty positive today he announced they eliminated the limit. As long as you still maintain COVID protocols, they eliminated the limit on gatherings
entirely.
I think so.
But how can you maintain 6 feet if you're
on top of each
if
other?
you're full?
I mean, what are you doing on top of each other?
You've seen the seats at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, baby.
You're sitting
rock
on
and
top
roll.
of 6 other people.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
But
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I saw that though. I don't know how that constitutes with having to still follow protocol, but
yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago we went through our nominees, so we're not going to go into that. But Ryan's right. It's cool to just have the ceremony, where it belongs.
What's up with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame having everything like but rock and roll in it now, though? There's rappers in there, fucking pop stars in there.
That's so their word for rock and roll is basically music. It's so a better way of defining music is rock and roll. Everything's rock and roll.
Well, I've heard that, but is there like other stuff though? Like, is there a country Hall of Fame or rappers Hall of Fame, or is it just Rock and Roll Hall of Fame does all music?
There's a Nashville Hall of Fame. I know that for a fact. I don't know about rappers.
did it initially? I mean, when it first started, it was strictly rock and roll music.
That's all we had, man.
Yeah.
Rock and roll, baby.
I don't have any issue with it being like a music hall of fame.
It's hard to
I
say.
get that point that you're saying.
Like rock and roll.
Name it the music hall of fame then or something.
Our
but-
history is with rock and roll in Cleveland, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's not with rap and pop and
Right.
Mhm.
Michael Jackson's in there. Get the fuck out.
I
You're
mean,
not a rock and roller.
he can take a moonwalk out of there any day. I don't care.
So
Ow!
wrapping things up this week, Universal Monster Universe.
I didn't know
what
about this. I saw this in the notes.
So we've had this example come out recently in the last couple of years, obviously with The Mummy, which failed. They were going to reboot everything. They were going to have Russell Crowe be the Invisible Man. Sophia Boutella was obviously the Mummy in that movie. They were going to release like 5 or 6 movies with all the legendary characters, Frankenstein, everything. So now they've kind of stripped it down again due to the failure of The Mummy, and they're going to reboot everything once again. They're going to do the Universal Monsters universe again, but it's starting from scratch. Casting, directing, everything.
Are they bringing in Kevin Feige?
That's the way to do it. I mean, you're going to. But some of the things that we've heard early on is Ryan Gosling is going to play the Wolfman.
That could be good. Ryan Gosling
I
can
could
act.
see that. Yeah, I could see him doing that.
Here's the one that gets me really inspired. James Wan directing Frankenstein.
Yes.
That would be sick.
Not familiar.
Saw.
Conjuring.
Yeah, Conjuring.
Okay, that'd be dope.
Yeah, I mean, as far as atmosphere goes, James Wan's one of the best directors.
Big
to go
time
with.
horror, like
I'm cool with that.
like Mount Rushmore. I don't know if Mount Rush, like new age Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore
yeah.
for horror.
For horror, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so they're talking about the only thing they're going to keep is possibly Tom Cruise as his role in I can't remember what the character was. Yeah, but they're saying they're going to keep him along and bring him along for the eventual Invisible Man movie, which is no longer starring Russell Crowe.
No, I say to get Tom Cruise out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I get that he's like the star that they want, but he's like an action star. These movies should not be action movies.
And that was my problem with The Mummy. So it wasn't so much The Mummy, it was just a Mission Impossible sequel is what it felt like, a very shitty one.
Right.
You know, it was, you know, these big elaborate action sequences. It was, you know, all
dust storms and all that other shit.
Yeah, to me, I'm like, this was nothing like how The Mummy was, you know. So to me, yeah, I felt that one failed, and it's rightfully so that they're stripping it down again. It's just they have to get to the essence of the characters and the stories if they're going to do this right.
And that's like people don't know the stories too. That's the big thing. So you can do whatever you want, but like if you just make it a cheap action flick or a cheap horror flick, it's not going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Like those stories are classics. Frankenstein is not about a monster that's terrifying and goes around and kills people. Like it's a character piece. It should be a serious movie that's done well. And Ryan Gosling could do that. If you just make it into like a big, scary, strong monster killing people and Tom Cruise has to save the day, it's going to be whack.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You know, and as somebody who grew up with a lot of these movies, it's very personal to me. So when I saw the trailer for The Mummy the first time, I thought it looked like garbage, and my opinion surfaced because the movie was horrible.
Yeah. I never saw it.
Yeah, you're not missing much. I like Sophia Boutella. I think she's very talented, but she was just given nothing to do on this movie. So yeah, I mean, they're going to reboot it again. We'll see what happens. Universal kind of needs a home run right now anyway. They're kind of, you know, falling into all these other big conglomerate companies, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's one thing I would really love to see is if they could bring back, like, monsters aren't a thing anymore.
No,
you don't even think about it anymore. Like me and Steph just watched Monster Squad like 2 days ago, and it's so good.
Wolfman's got nards.
And I don't know. I'd like to see that come back. Like it's all the only monsters you see anymore is zombies, and it's overdone.
Del Toro films is probably about it,
and blown up. Yeah. And even those are like new creations. Like what was the one? Something of Water.
Shape of Water.
Yeah. That was like the creature from the Black Lagoon type of thing.
Yeah, very good comparison.
But like if you could bring all of those classics back and make them relevant again, you could have a whole new franchise of horror that people love. Sure. That's not jump scary. That's still classic. Like you could completely revitalize it. That would be one thing that I would love to see.
And part of what I always loved about the Monsters universe was that it's these misunderstood monsters who are also very human at the same time. So that's the thing I always loved about Frankenstein. He's very much a creation by us, you know, and he's suffering for our sake. And that's what I always found so compelling about the character. There's a very lot of human empathy lying underneath the surface that, you know, practically jumps from the page.
Yeah, I remember I took a world literature class in college and we read Frankenstein. I had already read it at that point, but I read it again for that class. We had to write a paper about what the theme of Frankenstein was.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went online. I'm just like, okay, like what is the theme of Frankenstein? Like trying to find something that I could make a 10-page essay on that wasn't what I already thought myself. There's a website with 237 different themes people were able to get from it.
Wow.
From like crazy stuff like veganism is one of the things. Feminism is one of the things because the only people that he kills at first are women.
Wow.
About, you know, the obvious things like how to raise a child and, you know, the exposure, whether you're born evil or created evil and all that other stuff.
Nature versus nurture.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've got all of this stuff, but there was literally like that much stuff on it. I ended up doing mine on, I think I just chose feminism because it seemed like it was the easiest thing to like put together because I didn't give a shit. But
oh man, I wish I could read that paper.
Yeah. It might be strolling around somewhere on a Google Drive somewhere or something, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff because they all break it down why they feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just key points. And I'm reading through it and I'm like, huh, this really is about a bunch of vegetarians. Like it all makes sense, you know?
That's fascinating.
It was weird.
Check that out. Ryan, thoughts on Monster?
I kind of wonder where their place is now, you know, because kind of the point of Jesse where they're no longer around or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what the interest would be outside of the generation of our own that like grew up on it. Like how will that translate to the new generation who had no interest or hasn't really watched those. I'm a fan of them.
What's your favorite?
But my thing with the reboots is just I'm never a fan of like reboots or remakes. You know, when The Mummy was awful, what's going to make these any different? I haven't watched The Mummy, but I heard it was not great.
No.
I always liked I liked Dracula. I liked werewolf stuff.
Yeah.
I think Frankenstein could with Ryan Gosling. I think that would be pretty legit. He's going to be Frankenstein.
Wolfman.
A Wolfman. Yeah, that I'm all about.
Yeah.
If they did them character pieces though, and really focused on that, I think that would be cool. Like that's the big thing that sold me on Joaquin's Joker. Is just the amount of time they just spent on him.
It's a study.
That I find that style very interesting. And if we did something like that with this monster reboot, and to Jesse's point, not make it a
cheap
action movie that just happens to be called The Mummy or something, you know, like I don't know.
And that's the thing. You can have horror elements in a sociological drama. Like, I mean, you can have this deconstruction of a character study and just have horror elements sprinkled in every now and then. It doesn't have to be a blood fest.
I agree.
Well, like The Invisible Man that came out last year was pretty freaking good.
Yes.
That was like a modern day take on it, but you could have done the exact same type of horror tropes, just not knowing what the hell, where he is. Like, there were some great horror elements in that movie, and it's not over the top scary,
right?
But it was good.
And that's about female abuse. You know, that's like obviously not spousal abuse. I don't think they're married, but like, you know, being victimization within a relationship.
Yep.
That's what I thought so brilliant about that film. And going into that movie, I was dreading it. I'm like, because they're not going to do it justice.
Think it was going to be good at all.
Invisible Man is one of my favorites of this universe, and it's not going to be good. I came out of that and I told everybody, I said, go see this movie and support it because it deserves it.
Who's your favorite monsters?
My favorite monster's Frankenstein. That's why, like, Jason's my favorite serial killer because he very much ripped off the Frankenstein formula. They're very similar if you look one and the same.
Yeah.
I'd have to say my favorite movie though. Yeah, I'd have to go with 31 Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a Frankenstein guy first, werewolf second.
Yeah.
Dracula's okay. I like him, but
Bela Lugosi, man.
It just depends on what I've seen. You know, I've seen the old classics and it's so boring to me.
And that's the hardest thing is a lot of these movies, like Ryan was saying, it's hard to adapt to a new audience, a contemporary audience. Some of these films do hold up. Like, I think Frankenstein has decent pacing even still. I think Wolfman and Creature from the Black Lagoon hold up very well today.
I've never seen Creature from the Black Lagoon. I've always wanted to.
Yeah.
I think a big part of the interest in like entertainment value of those is the period that they were made, that raw, gritty darkness and stuff that you got from just the lack of advancement in the film industry made them so much more entertaining. And now with it being all like high def and stuff, I don't know if it just translates as well.
Yeah.
So
that's something I would like to see though. Like I like when they take old school classic stuff and they apply it to today and you can still pull it off in a way that works. Like even simple stuff like when Kong Skull Island came out and like those shots of like the Vietnam era type of thing, like that stuff worked really well. If you can just take things like that and make it a, you know, gritty somehow, maybe it doesn't have to be high def, or maybe you do it high def, but you make it work. Like I'm okay with all that stuff. Like I like the old school shots, like, oh God, what's his name? The king of horror, the guy who did Birds and everything, Hitchcock.
Oh yeah.
Hitchcock put all those shots in. Like he was one of the first people that did the pull the camera away while you zoom in to get the, you know, delirious type of shot and all that.
Yeah.
Like applying those things and making old school movie craft work for you today. And you could still pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against it. We'll see. We've had enough of them. It's going to be a continuing theme for as long as we can remember. So
have they said when they're trying to get some of those movies out?
I was reading the article and it said they're basically waiting for all this COVID shit to kind of, you know, finally end, and then they're going to start getting down to it, like as far as writing pre-production, you know, all the casting and everything. I mean, if they haven't even casted yet, they're nowhere close.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
That's it.
That's all for Hollywood.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we do finish up with Let's Get Social.
Yeah.
It is July 20th, 1969, and man is about to land on the moon.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's the way the news goes.
Let's get social.
Let's.
back to depressing stuff.
It's kind of our thing.
You know, we strayed away from it for a little while, but one thing is, as of yesterday, it's it's Women's History Month or Women's Celebration Month or something like that. Starting for March. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
So that's cool. Our Black History Month celebration episodes and stuff concluded on our last episode. So maybe we'll have to think of something for, I don't know what's technically called. Is it women awareness?
Women's history?
Women's History Month?
Women awareness?
I don't fucking know what it is. Women's something month. I don't know.
We want to let you know.
We are aware of
Get a ribbon for them, Brian.
Yes. We're aware of your well-being.
We'll go do a 5K.
Yeah. If
Did you know that there are still women in the world?
If you are a woman,
we must bring awareness to this.
If you're a woman of awareness and you'd like to join us on the show, please let us know. In the world of Let's Get Social, though, we've got COVID news. Lots of COVID news.
What?
That's really about it.
We took a break from it for COVID, and now we're back with more COVID.
More Cove. That's all that's really going on. Texas and Mississippi announced today that they are saying fuck you COVID and reopening, no mask mandates, back to 100% business operation.
Are Texans still freezing to death, or has the temperature gone up?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I don't know. Killed off all the COVID though, because they're able to open back up.
Yeah.
So. Which I think is crazy. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I mean, think that that's smart, too soon? Think we're just ready to be done with it?
No, I think people are tired of it, especially the South, because they never believed it was real in the first place. So they just want to get back to normal. But no, I don't think it's the right move. I think if you want to up it back to, kind of like what we did with sports today, like go 40% or something like that, that's fine. But like, dude, it's not over yet. I mean, especially when this new strain is mutating and, we don't know everything we know about that yet. No, it's not the time.
Yeah, it's only something like 16% of the nation has been vaccinated at this point or something. So you got 84% of people. Texas is a huge population of those people, and they're just going to be walking around willy-nilly with no masks. I hope that people take it seriously. If they said today, like, hey, Ohio's maskless, like, I ain't taking my mask off right away. Like, I'm not going to Walmart without a mask. Y'all people are dirty. So
do you think that it withstands, or do you think we get back to where we were at last year, where states weren't mandating and then federal government stepped in and said, well, no, this is what we're saying, and you're going to need to still uphold?
I think for cases like that, I hate to call out the South, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, I think for cases like that, yeah, the government almost has to step in and say, like, look, if it goes up again, forbid. But if it does, like, guys, it's obviously not working. You're adding to the problem. We have to cut this down before it gets even worse. And I would support that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, the argument people are making is that we have so many people getting vaccinated and so many people who have already had it. But after 3 months, you can get it again. So, and we don't even know how long the vaccine works yet. Like, they told me after 3 months, I still have to quarantine if I come in contact, just in case, because we don't know how effective it is until we wait and see and can make like the studies happen. So I know I'm good for a certain amount of time. I don't know for how long, and that goes for everybody. So if we open up and everything just continues to inflate.
Right.
And they did expand on that. They said, if you get it, you can be good up for 6 months, was what the CDC recently, it was like 2 weeks ago. They came out with it.
If you get the vaccine,
if you get COVID, like you're pretty much immune to it for the next 6 months.
So it went from 3 months to 6 months.
Dude, so I'm good for the summertime. Maskless summer, baby.
I mean, you got the vaccine though. You're good.
I got one part of the vaccine. The second part is on the same day I'm supposed to go to a wedding, so I gotta fucking
priorities, Jesse.
Figure some things out.
Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
I think they're silly.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's smart to just say, okay, all of a sudden we're done. Let's open back up and go about our day as if nothing happened. I think at the very least a transition period, like I don't know, maybe have expanded crowding or bigger gatherings and kind of see like, okay, does that make any difference? Do our numbers increase or decrease or stay the same? But that's ballsy. And the thing is that it's kind of hard because I guess the thing is it kind of sucks for the people that have concern, and are in a place where they're like, well, shit, I can't worry about it or risk it. But then it's also kind of like, well, then if you're at risk, be cautious. And when do we get to a point where like we need to be responsible for ourselves and not everyone else? And I kind of struggle with that a little bit. So I definitely think that it's the wrong decision to just all of a sudden just be back up and running on a whim like that. If it does start to escalate again, I think the federal government has the right to step in and say, hey, this isn't working. We need to shut back down. It's not going to go well, I'm sure. I don't know why Texas and Mississippi, of all places, super random, but
especially with the timing, like,
right,
you're gonna fuck up our summer, man.
I know.
'Cause it's gonna take a while for us to see what's happening, and then that's gonna go from there. Like, we don't have any travel bans or anything going on in the country right now. Like, don't fuck up my summer.
And two things, like, adding to what you said about, transitioning and all that, New York is just now opening up their restaurants in New York City,
right?
Like for the first time. So I kind of like that transition. It's like we're opening up business, but we're still very like restricted as far as, you're still going to mask, you're still going to have, people sitting every other table and all that.
Yeah.
But it's just that's more as far as fixing businesses, because I mean, a year is taking a hit.
I sent you guys a thing the other day, and all this is obviously just, you can take it any way you want, but I sent you guys that picture in the group. That was the airplane meme. And it's the picture of the people waiting in line to get on the plane.
Oh yeah.
With their luggage, and they're 6 feet apart. And then it says moments later, and it's a fully crowded plane, and you're sitting next to a complete stranger. And we think that that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's where I can find the struggle with people that aren't fully on board with it is like, the things that we justify as being okay and the things that aren't okay are so fucking counterintuitive. It's so silly. Like, looking at that, I mean, really does make us look stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to sit every other seat in the lobby of the airport while I wait to get on the plane, where minutes later I'm going to be sitting
shoulder to shoulder,
touching somebody, and that's dumb.
There's no money being made in the lobby.
Right. That's right.
That's true.
It's wild though. It's like, that's the kind of shit that just kind of fucks us as far as legitimacy of the virus, and like, what do we think is important and what we don't. You can sit on the airplane, but then businesses that are trying to survive can't have people in there.
Yeah.
Well, you can travel. I mean, how is that fair?
And I'll say this, like, I know you probably don't want to hear it, but like, I've been keeping track of.
I don't want to hear it.
I've been keeping track of the numbers every day. Obviously, Ohio's doing really well. We're down to 55,600 active cases.
You know why,
right now? Go ahead.
Your Lord and Savior, Governor DeWine. I mean, who else can you give the credit to other than DeWine? Man. No, you don't want to hear it, Chris.
Fine DeWine. That's what Chris calls him.
Shit. I'll call him something. 55, but 55.6. Our area is down to less than 3,000, which is awesome.
You know who you can give credit to that? I'm not going to say it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Us. It's kind of our thing, man.
That's fine.
All of
it's all the information we're getting out there.
That's fine.
Man.
That's fine.
Made to motivate said I need to wear a mask. Goddamn. Must be true.
No, but and then to your point earlier though about and to Jesse's point, like summer's coming and things like that, or with Texas and them reopening, is they're saying that fucking Biden is stating that we're going to have vaccines for everyone by May. So maybe they're like, well, everyone's going to be vaccinated. We're going to be fine.
We'll have enough vaccines for everyone, but everyone's not going to take it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. If they're going to be restricting us, like if their travel and stuff's going to end up getting restricted, and we talked about this last show or a show before, like they need to get this up and running and make it accessible. Because DeWine or Ohio released something today outlining like who's now allowed or available to get it. And I still don't meet the requirements. Mm-hmm. And like, if I want to travel in the next month or so, am I going to be able to without having the vaccine? Like, do we drive? Are planes not allowing you to? Do we have anything official?
I think right now you are allowed to, but they're working on legislation that says that you're going to eventually have to get it.
So they have to make it available.
Passport, yeah.
Then I need to be able to get it, or they need to be able to give it to me there at the airport or something, so to let me travel.
Would you get it then?
You're such an American, Ryan.
I will.
They need to make it available for me so I can make my travel plans.
Absolutely, though. If you're going to ban me from doing something, but not make the thing I need to do available to do it, then you can't ban me from doing it. That's bullshit.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Yeah, fuck America. Fuck the bullshit rules that they come up with.
That kind of language will get you banned on Facebook.
Well,
right.
a good thing we're not on Facebook, and then good thing this is our own platform and we do whatever the fuck we want.
I'm not on Facebook for 24 more days.
Yeah, because Jesse said "fuck you."
No, I didn't. I said hateful bitch. That's all I posted. Those 2 words. A month.
I want to tell you something. In our thread today, I was responding. The one, what was it? When you said I wore a bikini or whatever.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I was responding to you before I said lint liquor. I said, you dirty bitch. And I deleted that comment. It came up and it said, this might go against our standard.
In the fucking.
Yeah. Like on
Messenger?
my page. No, on my page.
Oh.
It said, this might go against our standard. I'm like, well, I'm just going to delete it.
I've
then.
got one of those before. You know what I did? Post. Fuck it. I don't care.
I'm like, I don't need to go through this shit.
So I've been trying to be super petty and going through like all of the WKYC comments where all those racist fucks are. And I've been reporting all their shit.
You can start reporting on your band?
Yeah. And I'm getting all these fucking responses. And it's like, this doesn't go against our community standards. I'm like, you motherfuckers.
But they've only probably haven't had 13,000 reports in the last 2 weeks like
It's automated, man.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is
Jesse,
50 grand for anybody who brings me Zuckerberg's head.
Jesse's on.
Holy shit.
The thoughts and comments of Jesse Unk do not reflect the Made to Motivate podcast in any way.
Brought to you by Made to Motivate.
Not brought to you by Jesse
And
Young from
Skyway.
Sports Illustrated. Jeez.
You're not going to be able to speak for 24 days.
Goodness.
Oh.
No, but I mean, jokes aside, like if you're gonna ban me from flying because I don't have it, then let me be able to get it.
Yeah.
Give it at the airports, whatever. Make it available to you.
But would you get it though? If they said like, okay, now you have to get it because
I will 100% get it if I can't travel without having it.
Travel is
Will you
that
get it
important?
anyway?
Not as quickly. I won't be as pressed to get it.
We're alive.
Yeah, I know you guys are doing great, and I'm good because you're the people I see, so I don't got to worry about it.
Just living off of our.
No, I will. I don't have anything against getting it, but I'm not going to be as pressed to get it unless I can't do something without having it.
Yeah.
You know, like, if other people that necessarily need it or whatever can get it before me, I'm cool with that. But the second that you tell me I can't do something without it, then fucking you better give it to me right then. And you better have it available for me right then.
My mom got her first shot a couple of weeks ago. She's getting her second one this Sunday.
Yeah.
And then a week from then she'll be 95%. So
yeah,
I'm glad because I would have rather she got it first before me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, but it's not how it worked out.
Yeah. Those fuckers.
Yep.
So yeah, we got that going on, and in the South, they're
Downtown Nation, they're opening it back up again.
Yeah, again, they're going against big boy government and doing whatever the fuck they want.
We don't got to post that we was wearing our masks when we wasn't really. Now we can just not really wear it and be public about it. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Except for their masks.
Not everything.
Except for my masks and my penis.
Jesus. The other big news I thought was today's cancer cult. Cancer
cult?
I was trying to say cancel culture and I said cancer culture.
Drink
I don't
the
want any part of
Kool-Aid,
that
guys.
cult.
Jeez.
I don't want any part.
I can't talk. We all know that. I'm not an English teacher.
I was about to say a really fucked up joke.
Please don't. Cancel culture. The big one today was Amazon, and they changed their logo on their app a little to look like a shipping box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then literally, I think it was within 2 hours, they had to change it again because people were saying that they were supporting Nazis and that it resembled Adolf Hitler because the tape looked like his mustache.
It's just like a little jagged.
And they had to change it. And I'm like, where do we draw the line on this shit, man? Like everything and anything at this point, you can't do without someone being offended or you being in the wrong. Dr. Seuss is being hit up right now. Sesame Street.
Dr. Seuss has always been known to be
racist,
like a racist dude. Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's not anything. Are the books
new.
racist?
There's like racial undertones in some of his stuff, and he had some questionable comments back in the day.
Oh. And here's the thing: I'm okay for it within reason, or like right now, it's literally I feel like okay, here's the picture. If you didn't know that I just said this looked like Hitler, would that be the first thing you thought of? This one on this side,
I had no
with
idea
the jagged piece of tape.
See, I think if it was black, like if it was colored black, like the smile was, I think then you maybe would have a case.
Hey, what the fuck is he? Fucking Blue's Clues?
We are going to ship you a Volkswagen.
Jesus.
Very fast. Very fast.
You got that guy from Superbad?
Who wants a mustache ride? I do.
I don't know. I'm just getting frustrated with it. I'm all about the inclusiveness and everyone feeling supported, but it started with Mr. Potato Head. That didn't start there, but like over the last week, and now it just is tumbling. And people are saying, "Oh, if you're that upset over that, what's your problem?" Like, if you're against them changing it, why is it that big of a deal? But if you're for them changing it, why is it that big of a deal? It can go either way. Why does everything have to be gender neutral? My problem with it is to be inclusive of the people that don't identify with a gender, we're taking it away from people that do identify as a gender. So then it's just doing the exact opposite is what you're trying to do for them.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand what that takes away from anybody by having a fucking toy that's called Mr. Potato Head.
So this
what is wrong with that?
This is what I talk about when I say, like, so we talked about a month ago about free speech and what you can say online, and should Facebook have the right to, like, you know, literally censor what you're saying and all that. And I said, once you open up the floodgates one time for any of this, now there's no limit as far as how far it can go, because you've opened that limit. You've broke that barrier. And that's the case with something like this. So there will be a case that you agree with and you'll go, yeah, that was right. It's right that they took that away from culture and all that. But then there's cases like this now where you go, like, now they're using it for everything. But because it meets the same guideline, it offends somebody. Now they can use it for everything.
Yeah. But everyone's offended by everything.
That's my point, though.
Like, you could be literally offended by any and everything. What criteria do we need to meet for it really to make sense that we're going to end or change something of history or culture or whatever, something that's been around forever? Like, where do we draw the line, and what do we think is okay, and what do we think is it's not a big deal? Like, why would we change that? You know, because at this point it feels like it's never ending and it's just going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
If you're saying because it's Mr. and that's not okay because someone that doesn't identify as male or female can't play with that toy.
Did they ever come out and say that, though?
I don't know.
Because this is my thing. I think that we've gotten to a point more so where it's about taking anything that possibly could be that and taking it out of context. Because everything that I've read, and I didn't extensively look into it because I think it's fucking stupid either way, but everything that I read just said that it was like a rebranding. No different than Amazon changing their logo. You know, Instagram used to be the camera, then it went on to the different colors and everything. There's no reason for those changes other than, hey, we think we could rebrand and people will like it better. If they were sitting there and they were going, hey, let's just make it, you know, Potato Head, we're going to go. Do I think somebody sat in there and said, we've got to tailor to the gender neutral kids? I don't think that they did, because statistically, there's more non-gender neutral kids than there are gender neutral kids. Right. And if I'm trying to sell toys, I'm appealing to the masses. Right. So that's just what it is. Like, I think that was somebody put out Potato Head and Fox News or some random thing went, this is just another thing of gender neutral bullshit that's going out. And then people exploded, just like the Hitler thing. It's fucking rebranding with tape.
But even to your point, even if that wasn't Hasbro's intent, there's enough people that believe and support that. And that's what I don't understand. That's where I don't get, why is that so offensive? What is wrong with having a toy that is gender specific? Yeah. It's not saying only boys can play with it. The toy in itself is just a male. Yeah. Fucking G.I. Joe, what, can't be G.I. Joe anymore? Batman can't be Batman. What is it, just Bat now?
There's Mrs. Potato Head anyway.
Right.
Right. And that's my thing is, it's like, I'm all for it. Like, I'll support it. Like, I'm a teacher legally in school and class. And I don't care either way, but like, I would have to, even if I didn't. Like, I've got a student who, new kid, name is Jessica, legally. She goes by Jake. Didn't tell any of the teachers. Now, I'm probably the least liberal out of all of the people I work with. And, I said, okay, cool. If I see her, call her Jake.
Right.
One of the teachers didn't know that. They didn't inform them. He saw him. Hey, Jessica, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then later on found out about it. And he felt so bad. Yeah. And he was like, oh, if I'd have known. And I'm like, but you didn't know and she didn't tell you. So why do you feel bad? Next time, just write it. Be like, hey, I didn't know. Really sorry. Like, it's not a big deal. I don't get why everybody in their Twitter profile has like he, him, or she, her. Like, I'm not doing that.
I don't get that either.
Call me him or be like, hey, what's up, man? And if I say identify as a woman, I would expect for you to go, oh, my bad, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then you change it from there, you know? But until that point, you got to make shit known. Like, it's not up to me And then that goes back all the way to everything. Like when homosexuality was still an uncommon thing, like I feel like even that's a fairly recent thing for that to be normalized. Growing up, that was not normalized.
Right.
Like school and everything else was super homophobic.
Right.
And like I was a homophobe. I made fun of gay people. Like I used all types of terrible language and stuff towards them. But like I was a kid that didn't know any better. Even then though, like if you didn't tell me you were gay, I'm not gonna fucking know.
Right.
Like it's no different than whenever I was at school and I'd be like, your mom, and then like my mom is dead. Like, how am I supposed to know? I feel bad now and I won't make the joke again.
Right.
Like it's not any different. Make your shit known.
Right.
And then we can change it. But not everything has to be inclusive to everybody. There are things that are available for only white people. There are things available for only black people, for gay people. And it doesn't have to be that everybody has to be included on everything. Like if we raised a stir and we're like, well, BET doesn't tailor to my interests. Where's the fishing on that channel?
Right.
Like nobody gives a shit. So why are we trying to tailor to everybody or make everything seem like it's tailored to everybody and losing our shit over it when it doesn't matter?
The issue is because no one has had the backbone to stick up and say no. Everybody is so concerned about their reputation or money or their business. To no one's going to say, no, I'm not going to make that change.
Yeah.
And it's a hard line to not cross because to your point, like I will never intentionally disrespect somebody.
Right.
If I said something that was disrespectful to you, you know, the way I addressed you by your pronoun or whatever it is, I will apologize and make it right and make sure I address it appropriately the next time.
After I know.
Yeah. But the fact that we have to, like, just nothing is sacred anymore.
Right.
What are we? It's all just going to become one unified thing, and there's nothing that distinguishes us from each
individuality.
other. It makes you who you are. Everyone is different. Everyone's beliefs are different. The way that you relate to things are different. And to try and force us all to be the exact same thing, it just blows my mind. And it just no one has taken the step to say fuck that.
Right.
And I'm not saying you should say that because I mean you should.
But if it applies to me, then fuck that.
Right.
Like if tomorrow Chris was like, I want to be Christina. Dope, you're Christina.
Right.
Like we're still gonna be cool. Nothing's gonna change. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But if you come in and you're like, well, I'm Christina and I want you to make sure that you're, you know, referencing your pronouns properly. Like, what should I say to you? And you stress that issue all the time.
Yeah.
And everywhere we go, we're like, I'm Christina, I'm she, him, and this is Jesse, he's he, him. Like now it's annoying and it's not necessary. Like do you, and I'll respect that, but go from there.
And I think people are saying fuck you. It's just a matter of, I think what you're asking for is people are to say this to the corporations directly and all the people making
for the corporations to make that decision.
Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is corporations aren't it's continuing to happen because every time someone comes up and says that they're offended by it, the people that are the offenders are bending over and saying, you know what, you're right. Like Hasbro, if to Jesse's point, if it's not that way, but Hasbro, maybe if it went that way and Hasbro said, all right, you know what, we're going to eliminate it. Or, okay, whatever, Dr. Seuss, you know what, you are right. We're going to no longer make those books.
Right.
Or Sesame Street, now Disney Plus. Every time you watch an episode, there's going to be a blurb on there. Yeah. If they just said, you know what, this is our freaking show and this is what we're doing, and they stood up for whatever it was, then it would eventually stop, or, you know, it wouldn't be snowballing as much as it is.
Yeah.
And I think that has to be within reason. Obviously, it's not like, hey, fuck you and, you know, fuck your race or your sexuality, but there's got to be a point where we take a stand and say we're still going to have male things or female things or Caucasian things or black. It's just what it is. Everyone should still have the ability to have things that are inclusive to them. It doesn't mean that the other parties are excluded from it. You know, like if you're a female and you want a Mr. Potato, great. If you're a male and you want a Mrs. Potato, great.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
Yeah.
Do whatever the fuck you want with it. But
And I wonder where that idea of change comes from. So does that come from within, or does that come from, I don't know, 10 or 12 people complaining and saying like, this isn't accommodating to me? That's what I wonder. And that's the information you never find out. So to me, if it's a company from within that's saying we need to change with the times and all that, that's not necessary.
Right.
To me, it's almost like, and this sounds bad, you almost have to wait until somebody feels that way. And then you go, okay, now we can address it. A big amount of people are starting to come at us and saying like, okay, this is racially insensitive or whatever, sexually insensitive. we need to address this change.
Yeah.
Until then, dude, if it's okay for society, it's okay for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's two major problems that I have with like all of this cancel culture change crap, because like, one, it's revisionist every single time.
Yep.
It's always going back and changing something that already was
Yeah.
and trying to make it inclusive.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that.
Move
because
forward.
I'm all for, you want to create things, fantastic. You want to make new things and make it, you know, part of the norm. I am for it. Bring in a Sesame Street character and let them be gay. Let them be trans. Teach kids about that. Let them, you know, make a new superhero that's that same way.
Yep.
Cool. But when you start going back and you're like Miles Morales, perfect example. They made a new thing,
Yep.
Black Spider-Man. He's been great, super successful since then, and everybody loves him. They made his new thing. It was original. It was dope. If they went back and they were like, we're going to make a Black Spider-Man, but it's going to be Peter Parker, I have an issue with that.
Yeah.
And
We've talked about that before.
And that's because it's the history of that character. And it's the same thing with anything else. Even if it's Mr. Potato Head, there's a long history of this toy, this character in Toy Story, all this other stuff. Why are we changing it now?
So yeah, does Toy Story have to go back and rewrite the fucking
Right.
movies and make it Potato Head now?
And then the other thing I have a
No,
problem
you
with
get a
is,
warning at the beginning of Toy Story now.
Right. Honestly, they probably will fucking have to do that.
Yeah.
and if you don't like bend to those rules,
You're scum.
you're treated like an asshole.
You're scum.
Like, I got a baby on the way. If he's born a kid, or if he's born a kid, he'll be a kid at some point. He's not
born
going to
a
be a
man.
full grown adult. But if he's born a boy, right? I have a boy, and he asks me, you know, hey, Dad, can I have this princess wand? And I go, no, it's a girl's toy. I shouldn't get the shit reamed out of me for that. And I get the people who are like, well, they can play with what they want, and that's fine. And I probably wouldn't give a shit.
Right.
I'm not going to buy it, but like, I
Right.
don't care. You want to fucking play princess with whoever? I don't give a shit.
Right.
But like, I'm not going to push for that agenda either. Like people make it out to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, well, why don't you come play football with me? Fine. And I think that there are gender roles that go with it. Do I think it has to be everything? No, I think women can play football. I think guys can be dancers. I think that all that stuff works, but I'm not going to push for you to be extra feminine
Right.
or be extra masculine if I have a girl to fit with this norm that everybody's the exact same. And
Right.
well, if they even
not.
slightly bring up something that they want to do it, that they should, like, no, that's not the world. My kid's going to get the shit beat out of him when he's in kindergarten because he's the one that's dressed up like a princess and all the other boys are sitting there watching
Right.
Patrick Mahomes and JJ Watt on Sunday.
During a time when kids are their most cruel.
Yes, kids are assholes. That's the other, people don't realize, like, you can push all that inclusive stuff as much as you want and be totally accepting, and we could all do that. Kids don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're different in any form or fashion, kids will destroy you.
There's no filter with a kid.
Kids will find racism, sexism. Boys are always beating up on girls, pulling their hair. You start taking a white school, and like when I went to a primarily white school for elementary school, went to a totally black school for middle school, and there were some racial divides. We went to high school, Central Howard mixed in with North High, mostly Nepali population.
Yep.
We had black, white, and Asian gangs at all times because you just weren't used to it.
Right.
It's a natural divide. And my most homophobic times and my most conservative times were in high school. You don't learn that shit until you be mature and get older.
Yep.
And it's all for teaching it, but like, you can't force shit on people that doesn't necessarily have rhyme or reason.
Yep.
There's more important things to it. It's stupid.
One of the biggest ones for me was the Boy Scouts. When they said they weren't going to be the Boy Scouts anymore because it wasn't inclusive to girls.
Yeah.
I'm all for like what you said. Let's make change going forward. It's going to still be the Boy Scouts. If the Girl Scouts, they want to make it because, oh, girls want to be able to do the things that the boys are doing, then you know what you do? You adjust the Girl Scout program.
Yeah.
You say, you know, we're going to teach bow and arrows and axe throwing and camping, and you include it in their program. But to take away the Boy Scouts now, because that's not, why can't boys have something of just their own that doesn't have to involve women?
Right.
Why, just like women should be able to have something that isn't intrusive by men.
Or at the most, you
have
make
that
something called
ability.
the Scouts and you make it so that it can be a co-ed.
Sure.
And you mix it up if you want.
Yep.
Why is the group that is unaffected by all of this? Like, there's no problems in the Boy Scout group. So why are they the ones that are being targeted?
Right.
It's your group that needs to be, you know, it's trial and
So
error.
evolve
And
your
boys
group.
aren't allowed in the Girl Scouts.
Deconstruct. Yeah.
Of course not.
It's not the other way. Girls can go into Boy Scouts now, but boys can't go into Girl
Of course
Scouts.
not.
Yeah. It's your group that needs to be deconstructed.
It's very frustrating because it to Jesse's point exactly is if you even speak out, and I'm sure for this last segment we'll get shit for it because we're going to come off as assholes who don't understand or you don't know as a white guy. What, you know what? I do understand. And I'm all about you having your own thing. But it doesn't mean we have to tear down everything just to make it so everyone can participate in every single thing.
Right.
I'll put it like this, blunt as I can be, and our listeners can yell at me all they want. If a fucking toy potato offends you, you need to rethink your priorities.
Right.
Yep.
End of story.
And there are places like people can say that they're inclusive and that they're accepting and all this other stuff. And I think that we're all pretty inclusive and accepting, but there is a time and a place for every person, at least one place where you do not want a certain person or type of person, gender, whatever there. I don't want to be at the barbershop with a whole bunch of women getting my hair cut, talking with the boys.
Yep.
I don't want to watch the game with a whole bunch of women and not just my boys. I will always prefer the boys over that.
Yeah.
Yep. And you should be able to
and it doesn't. And there's times where I don't want you guys there. I want to be with my wife. I don't want you guys around.
Do you think that women want to go to the hair salon to get their nails done and their toes done and all that shit and have a bunch of dudes in there being all loud and rowdy?
Right.
No, they want to go to the hair salon with their women and have their girl spa day uninterrupted.
I say go. Fucking go.
Exactly. But why does it have to be that we can't do that? Because to whoever's point, like you made with the Boy Scout comment, like, we're not complaining, so why should we get attacked for it?
Yeah.
Like, we have nothing wrong with the fact that we're gonna go to the barbershop and just be guys, but someone's gonna come and say, well, we shouldn't be able to go there.
Right. My sister was in dance. We went to the hoity-toity, we went to watch the performance. We go out to some nice restaurant. I was not the type that they wanted. If I had 10 other guys like me and we were just acting normal, they'd be like, these guys are fucking ignorant. They wouldn't want us in there. Maybe not a race thing, maybe not a gender thing, but there is a type of people at some place in your life that you enjoy that you do not want around.
I seen you at Red Lobster, so I'm sure.
Yeah, we're talking about shrimping and shit in there, man.
I've seen the people sitting behind you guys.
They were going, these fucking idiots. I don't want these guys at Red Lobster.
Right. I don't know, man. If you listen to the segment and you haven't canceled us, I'd love your feedback. I'd love you guys to comment on the page or the show, and give us your feedback, because it's not a matter of us trying to be assholes or non-inclusive or not understanding of the differences in people's lives. But I just think it's sad that some of the things that we find sacred of our individualities are just, everything is just being torn apart or torn down. And we need to maintain individuality and stuff. It what makes us who we are with
identity,
our identity and stuff.
And if you're really angry about this segment, then you wouldn't want us anywhere near you. So my point stands, hypocrite.
Well said, sir. That's all I really got for the show. I ended with this crazy end of the show where nobody might get to this point. We'll be in the clear.
Yeah,
we won't get canceled. Anything else from you guys for this week? Oh yeah, you said to remind you about our money fuck
money
day.
mind fuck. We finally have one. It's returned. So this week, how much money would it take for you to cut off communication?
Oh,
you like that pause there?
To cut off communication with your best friend without explanation. How much money?
Like, what's the time frame
for life?
No, you couldn't. I'm good.
I couldn't either.
You couldn't for no amount of money.
I've been in that situation where I was on the receiving end of it, and it was awful. Like, some of the worst stress I've ever had in my life.
Apparently, for some people, all it would take is, hey, fuck off. But
10 years.
10 years?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
No? 10 years?
Mm-mm.
Who's your best friend?
I don't have like one best friend.
I don't either.
I don't. But like, if it was like any of you guys, if it was like, I could no longer talk to you or Jesse or Dan in like for 10 years, like literally it just stopped. No communication. If you reached out, I couldn't respond or anything for 10. There's no.
Yeah, it's
no way.
That's hard. Because I don't think I could even show up after 10 years, $1 billion or something and be like, hey,
sorry, bro.
Hey, I know I didn't talk to you guys and I didn't give you any explanation at all, but I got $1 billion for this. Can we be friends again? Like, they're going to just take my money and be like, dude, I don't fucking know you anymore. Like,
right.
I don't know if you could pay me for that.
Okay.
Do you have an amount
for 10?
Do you have it? What's yours?
I'm a bad guy to ask this.
Yeah, Chris is like, I don't fucking care about any of you.
Chris
Give
like,
me the money.
No. It's
motivate these nuts.
It's not that.
You got a cool $50?
I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, I'm a bad guy to ask on this question, but I'll say this. Okay. So for life, yeah, I wouldn't do it. For 10 years, $10 million.
I was going to say it's got to be at least $1 million.
$10 million.
$10 million. Wow. I want $1 million for every year.
Okay.
Yep. So let's lower it 5 years. Still no.
5 years I could probably do. 5 years is about the time that it took for my situation to start clearing up to the full point.
But did you know why in your situation? Was there a reason why? Though?
I knew why, but there was never a conversation.
See, it
was just ended.
Yeah, but this would be a situation where like you are kicking it today, all buddy, tomorrow, cold turkey, nothing.
Yeah, and no explanation. Like you can't even communicate to them. Like I'll give you $1 million once this whole thing, flies over.
Like you legit kicked it the day before.
5 years though, I feel like I could still do it. 5 years, you don't lose a relationship. You'll be mad, but if I come back and I'm like, bro, let me just toss you $1 million. Like I did this for us.
What can happen in 5 years?
If I just ghosted and came back 5 years from now and I was like, guys, I'm putting us big time. We're fucking moving.
See, like, I wouldn't be mad at him.
We're going to be fine.
So if he told me he did it for a reason and like he wasn't legitimately pissed at me for something that I did, like I would sit there and I go, okay, you're a fucking asshole, but
bro,
give me my money.
Right.
Me and Chris get a little butthurt when we're in the fake Facebook Messenger and it's been 45 minutes and Jesse hasn't responded.
Oh yeah, but he's an asshole. But he's an asshole.
I don't respond. There's
5 years.
Dude, I'll look at my phone after like an hour and it's like 37 missed messages. I'm not reading that shit.
Sunday we were bad though, dude. On that fucking Golden Globes, we were bad.
Dude, I see that shit and I'm just like, I teach reading for a job. I'm not gonna fucking do it for fun. If I had a novel, I'd be reading books.
So Chris, here's to add a little zinger to it, or twist is okay. So it's your best friend. So now what happens if those friends are hanging out with that best friend?
What do you mean?
So say you write, say
you're choosing one person.
Say we were
right?
best friends, and you're saying I can't talk to Jesse ever again for 5 years. Well, then what happens if like me and Jesse are hanging out? So now you can never be included. Because you couldn't hang out with me if I'm hanging out with Jesse.
I can hang out with you though. If I chose Jesse as the guy that like
if it was just me and you hanging out, yes. But say me and Jesse are doing something.
Yeah.
And we're going out to the movies.
No, I can't.
You can't.
No, I can't.
For any of those group interactions.
Do I look on the messenger and yours are just blank and it looks like you're talking to yourself? And
I would cut myself out of the group. I would leave the group.
Yeah, there's no way I could do it. There's no way I could do it. I think a year max, and I don't even know if I could do that.
2 years? Two years.
Nope.
2 years?
You're missing the point of the money, man. I know money's not important to you.
That's the thing.
I know it's material. I get it. But dude,
Put your name and your price.
Nope.
Dude, you could have whatever life you fucking wanted. You could
have the life all of us want.
You could go travel.
You're a selfish bitch.
You could go on the globe and be like, I want to go to fucking Costa Rica this week. I want to go to San Antonio.
So what happens?
2 years isn't that long.
What happens in that year or that 2 years? You die or your best friend dies, and you could never have told them what happened.
There has to be
you're gonna buy him a bitchin' casket.
Oh my goodness!
You want all gold, Michael Jackson treatment?
Yeah, damn.
Don't worry, baby. I can't take it with me. I'll spend your share.
I'm not motivated by money. Relationships and doing things with the people that are important to me.
If Chris died, I would give him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame because I got the money for it.
And he would never know and he would never care.
Right?
He'd know. He'd be looking down, you atheist fuck. Well, he'd be looking up because he's an atheist fuck, but you get what I'm saying.
But so you said 1 year you'd start thinking about it, right?
Maybe a year.
So what's the difference between 1 year and 2 years?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
365 days is the difference between you and maybe $10 million more.
Just like when we were talking about the text messaging thing. I said a year. If you told me I had to extend past that.
Think about how short it's been, though, since me and you have been buddies for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's not been that long.
I know.
You're telling me you couldn't give up that much time for millions or billions
You're talking
of
your
dollars.
Best friend, though, man. You're talking about someone you've had a lot go on in your life.
I get that.
Okay, you and Nick have known each other since you were in the womb. You're telling me
Nick would understand.
Yeah. Well, you and Nick are kind of fucked
Nick
up
would
anyway,
understand.
So. Yeah.
Nick would totally get it. He'd be like,
you tell Nick you would tell Nick fuck off. He'd stop talking to you and take the money. He wouldn't care.
No, he wouldn't.
He would delete you on Xbox and Twitter.
Nick and I have never gotten in a fight.
Bullshit.
The thing,
I swear to God,
Bullshit.
I have known Nick since I can remember, and we have never once been in an argument ever.
Families are a different story.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what happens though. Like, so
That is true.
So you're not saying fuck you. You can't even say that. You are done.
You're just gone.
Yeah, like you.
I leave from the
vanished.
podcast, and you guys have no idea what happened to me.
Yeah.
I could do 2 years.
2 years. How much? Minimum.
I would need to have money to make up for it. So I 50 million.
50 million.
Because a lot of it's going to you guys.
Jesus.
Whoever I cut out, because it's only one person.
If you gave me $2 million after 2 years off, I would say, Jesse, you're an asshole. I forgive you.
But I'm also
Chris really values friendship. It's worth the whole $2 million.
I don't have a lot of shit going on for me. Like, this is my only hangout time.
Jeez.
I'd be playing Call of Duty with Cullen and them. And
Yeah.
whatever happened to that podcast? I don't know, guys.
The thing is, though, he didn't damage my name. He didn't say anything about me. He didn't fucking ruin anything. He didn't fucking destroy my house or anything. He vanished. That's all he did. To me, that would hurt a little bit because it's like, well, he doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. But I would get over it.
I'd have that wonder, like, what the fuck did I do? I'd internalize it. Like, what the fuck? That was my best friend. Like, that was and they just ghosted me.
See, that's why I said I'm the wrong guy for this anyway.
I couldn't do it. You know me. I fucking cry at Free Willy. I'm sappy. I'm a big fucking softy with the beard, man.
You're gonna use that shit.
I'm emotional. Like, I care about that sort of thing. So to me, I couldn't. Like, the money isn't that important.
Okay, Ryan. 1 year.
I don't know if I could do a year.
Oh my God!
Damn it,
now we can't do it a year.
I said I would maybe. I said maybe a year, but I don't even know if I could do a year.
Ryan, you go a
6
year
months?
without seeing a lot of people.
6? No, I don't.
Yes, you
Not
do.
people that are important to me.
Ooh. Well, anybody listening, now you know.
Yeah, exactly. A year, 10 mil.
10 million.
10 million.
Okay.
I go a year.
Okay. What would it take you for a year? You said 50 for the 2.
50 for 2, so
25.
I go 10.
10
A
million.
year's not that long.
Yeah,
A year
I
doesn't
could do a year.
We're already in March.
Okay.
Like,
Right. And to your point, asshole, we've been in COVID. So if I haven't seen somebody in a year, and maybe that's why. Don't let
COVID's been
Chris-
going on, and we see each other every
Don't
week.
let Chris
Yeah.
twist my words.
Yeah.
We didn't even know Chris that long ago.
No.
He's into the fray.
Mine was December of, what was
He's
that, 19?
included in the best friend cutoff conversation, and you're missing people for 6 months.
I'm telling you guys right now, if somebody offers you guys this shit, like,
Chris is
I'm out.
take it.
whatever it is, a year, 2 years or whatever, take it and then give me $2 million at the end of this rainbow.
I don't know if I'll give you
gotcha.
2 million, but I'll give you all you can eat shrimp.
Fuck you. Then you're getting a big fucking asshole. I'm going to shit on your Jeep.
Shit on the coat.
Somebody shit on the coat.
That's a hard one though, because you're talking something personal at that point, not just like, oh, I'm gonna give up texting or something. Like, you're giving up a very important relationship. So
I
that's
agree.
tough.
It's a
I'd
lot.
say a year, but I think I could try and do a year.
But that's the point
10
of this.
mil.
So like with Money Mindfuck, if I asked you like, oh, you got to give up popsicles for 5 years. Could you give up popsicles for 5 years?
Well, popsicles for 5 years for $10.
Will you live in this house with your third act
Oh,
for $5 million?
Dude, those, I hate them. I hate them. I'm like, duh. Of course, it's a mansion, for Christ's sake. Yeah, but they said Jane died here. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about Jane. Fuck Jane.
Fuck Jane. Who determines the best friend?
You.
I get to choose?
Well, no, that can't, because then you just
No.
say, oh yeah, that's my best friend.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So is it like the universe knows? Because maybe then then I'd get fucked. It'd be something like
Steph.
your wife is really your best friend.
No,
And
it's not
now-
your wife because you're married to her, and that's
Okay, how much to never talk to Steph again for a year?
Oh my,
Oh, I couldn't do that.
No amount of money.
that's
He's a pussy.
I don't think
He's not
so,
being
dude.
honest because she knows she might hear
She doesn't
this.
listen to this shit.
I don't
She's
think
never listened to a single episode.
I don't
No,
think
it's
that's
that- that's
possible. A woman will
bullshit.
hunt you down. I don't think that's
They'll
possible.
find you. You're like the FBI,
I'm spending
man.
all my money just to keep her away to get the money. God damn it, baby. Just leave it alone. I'm sending the kids to college.
A woman is like, it follows, dude. They will fucking hunt you down to China.
Jeez.
What about your parents?
Ooh,
That one's really hard.
But he's thinking about it though. That's
No.
what's funny.
I'm trying to think.
Fucking right.
I'm trying to think of the longest amount of time I ever went without talking to him. It's only been like 2 weeks. I call my mom every day after
Yeah,
work.
that's where I draw the line.
Like every single day I call my mom, and my dad's always in the background. What's he saying? Shut the fuck up, Bronny. I just want you never call me.
My
I
mom,
love Ron.
He's gonna listen to this and be like, "You fucking asshole."
Yeah.
my mom's 73 this year. I don't have a lot of time with her left.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm drawing the line there. There is no money that I would take for
Yeah.
even a day without.
What if it was when she was 50?
No,
Yeah.
That's-
family's nothing.
well, no,
No,
I didn't say family. I said my mom.
Well, but I mean, whatever. To me, family. Like if I'm considering family, that's
90%,
there's obviously a relationship there.
90% of my family, I'd say fucking go dump them. I'm
Yeah.
cool.
Chris is like, "I'll pay you."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And no amount for you, Jesse?
No, I couldn't do
No
it.
amount of time? 6 months? Sounds kind of good.
6 months is easy, dude.
6 months is easy.
Because if you moved out of state, you go 6 months without seeing your dad or your mom.
Here's my
I take my
thing.
mom and dad around the world in 6 months.
Here's my thing, though. As a friend, you're going to be pissed. You're going to be like, you know what? Fuck them, whatever. But if your parent, their kid cut them off cold turkey, you know how much that's going to hurt them, regardless of the money you're getting. Like, to a parent, that cuts deep.
I feel like they'd get over it though. My parents would get over it.
Here's
They'd
the thing.
understand. I'd be like, "Dad, we're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Right.
We're share owners in the Browns.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
taking you around the world. Like, we just go.
Yeah.
We'd be kicking it." He'd be like,
Ron, your
"This
son
was a good financial decision."
Your son said he'd cut you off. So if you want to just let me fill that spot, any games or anything you want to go to, I'm your guy. Okay.
I'm gonna take a Steeler fan up there.
Me and Ron are boys.
He knows better. He's never done that
Boys.
shit.
I think he does like you the most.
Ron.
And,
He's a
and what
character.
what if you lied?
He was gonna buy your shrimp, Chris.
What if-
He was sitting there on
Well,
the
that's
phone. He's
because
like,
Chris was talking
he's
about
like, "Let me go."
shrimping
He goes,
with them.
he goes, I'll buy Chris's dinner. I go, "Why are you gonna just buy Chris's dinner?" He goes, "I don't know. I'm gonna tell him I'll buy his dinner. I get to come."
Clearly, I didn't hear this fucking conversation. I'm down with
You
that.
missed it.
God, what was I gonna say? Okay, so you could lie even, and you could say like, "I've been in a coma for 6 months. I'm sorry, like I haven't been. I was in a motorcycle accident or something like that."
Could your friends tell them anything about you?
Your friends,
Like, what would your existence be? So you cut Jesse off. Could I be like, "Oh yeah, Jesse's doing great. Him and Steph had a kid." Could I tell you stuff about Jesse?
you can tell him, yeah, but I'm not allowed to fucking communicate with him. If I could,
Oh.
Can he tell me about you?
sure.
That's not a big deal then.
Yeah, that's definitely not a big deal. Because Ryan's just gonna be like,
each other.
"Dude, Chris just made $50 million to not talk to you."
But here's the thing: you're never gonna know why I cut him off, though. You're never going to know that.
Chris all of a sudden has all these really nice things.
All you're going to explain,
So
you're
like Jesse couldn't tell me that the reason you're no longer talking is because he's getting 50 mil.
The
No,
Film Freak has
'cause-
like top level production value all of a sudden. I don't know how he's doing
that's
it.
where it'd go. It'd go
He's
on.
sponsored by 330 to go.
I'd get a webmaster and just run my page. But no, it would be like, so you'd ask me like, "So why did you cut off Jesse?" You know, we're both curious, like, why'd you cut him off? And I just be like,
Yeah.
Well, now I know. If
Right.
if it ever happens, you're just like, I'll be like, "So you buying dinner? Like, what's going on over there, Chris?"
you'd only know because we had this conversation.
Exactly.
but
Fiddlesticks on you? Okay, sounds good.
you would
We'd be
understand.
at Red Lobster, all you can eat shrimp. Chris would just be at like one table over. We just play, hey.
Bro, Chris has me in the mini golf tournament this year. Winner's getting $1 million.
Damn straight, dude. Damn
Are you in
straight.
it? I didn't even hear about it. It sucks for you.
See, that changes the dynamic though, because if I knew if I cut you off, but like you and Jesse hang out and just be like, "Oh yeah, Chris is doing really well. Film Freak's doing all this stuff," and I knew you were doing good. And there was like, I think I'd be more okay with that than just nothing. Like cold turkey knew nothing about
I
you,
don't
or like you
think so.
disappear. I don't know.
Because you didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear. So the thing that's always going to be in the back of your head is, why did I cut you off?
Yeah.
You're going to ask me. I'll be like, "I don't know. He never says he's mad at you or anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't really talk about you much."
No,
You're dead to him.
every time he brought it up, I'd just be like, "Oh, so yeah, the Mariners are playing today and they're playing good."
Jeez. That's a good one though.
2 lies, Chris. 2 lies.
I think that's the second best one behind the texting.
Yeah, that's a tough one. The interpersonal relationships are tough for me. So family, there's none. That's a 0. I don't even consider it like
Yeah.
Jesse.
I couldn't do it.
Bethany and Ronald don't fucking mean nothing to Jesse. He's like, whatever, it's money.
They'd get it.
They'd get okay.
They'd be on it. They'd
My-
be like, "That's smart."
My mom, my sister, my nieces and nephews, and my brother.
Mhm.
Outside of that, the rest of them, I'll fucking do it for $1 million
That's like-
right now.
My family, I can fit on like one hand, so I got a small one.
That's it.
Oh boy.
Let's all stop sucking each other's dicks. And
Yeah, we got to go. That's the end of the show because Jesse's got to go home and do some shot skis. We will catch you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. That is Made to Motivate Podcast. Make sure you tune into the show every week. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube so you know when the new videos launch. And check out our pages individually if you can. We appreciate the support. At Jesse Unk SI on Twitter, Chris the Film Freak Kessinger. Check out the Film Freak Review page on Facebook. And I am Ryan Weiss. You can check out rockeverywhereinc.etsy.com to follow my art and apparel page. We appreciate the support. And of course, at Made to Motivate Podcast on all social media sites. Thanks again, and we'll check you next week.